was in blue. And in Milwaukee, it's a playoff rematch as Braun and his Brew Crew are set to take on Justin Upton and the D-backs. The Athletics pull out their A game in Arlington, but Josh Hamilton and the Rangers look to show Oakland just how big things are in Texas.
Oh, my goodness!
The Tigers try to claw their way up the standings in the Sunshine State, but Joe Madden's Rays won't just lay in the shade. And while the Padres had a mile high to face the Rockies, Minnesota looks to sweep the Twin Bill.
The Twins win it!
So stargazers, prepare for another sparkling edition of Baseball Night in America.
And welcome to the Budweiser Fox Baseball Night in America pregame show powered by MLB Network. Surprise teams collide in L.A., a postseason rematch in Milwaukee, division rivalries in Denver and Minneapolis with MVP candidates on the field in Tampa Bay and Texas. The month of June wraps up with marquee matchups across the league. Welcome inside MLB Network Studio 3 with Kevin Millar, Hale Reynolds, Matt Vasgersian. I'm the only one not wearing a pocket square, but regardless, that still does not polish you up, Millar. Good to have you back on the show, by the way.
You didn't get the memo. It's great to be here, guys.
Hey, great matchups tonight and a lot of news. 6 terrific games on Fox tonight.
Yeah, I'm watching the Royals. They're 5.5 back. Saying the Royals, are you kidding me? Keep an eye on them. And then I want to see Cespedes down in Texas playing against.
I'm watching the Tampa Bay-Detroit matchup. Same division. I don't see Detroit's going to get hot this year.
Postseason teams colliding again, but we open our coverage as per usual tonight with FoxSports.com senior columnist Ken Rosenthal joining us from Los Angeles. Ken, let's talk about the Texas Rangers beginning the day with the best record in baseball. But despite their success once again this season, we understand they're showing interest in 2 of the biggest pitching names in baseball.
Matt, that's right. They scouted Zach Greinke in Cincinnati this week, and they also will be after Cole Hamels if he becomes available. The Rangers are deep in prospects, and I'm told their general manager, John Daniels, is not messing around. Now, the Phillies did make a trade today, sending Jim Thome to the Orioles for 2 minor leaguers, but that does not indicate that they are sellers just yet. The Orioles, on the other hand, are clear buyers. They also are after Matt Garza.
Kenny, it was late last night that you broke news on another deal that the Astros were involved in talks with the Dodgers regarding 3-time All-Star Carlos Lee. Today, word comes out that Lee would exercise his no-trade clause and say no to the deal. What's the very latest on any potential trade there?
Well, nothing definitive yet, Matt. There is a deal in place. Carlos Lee to the Dodgers, as you mentioned, along with part of the $9 million or so that he is owed for the rest of the season in exchange for pitching prospect Garrett Gould. But as you mentioned, he cannot be traded to the Dodgers without his permission. He is quite comfortable in Houston. He's got a cattle business there, and he might not want to play in hitter-friendly Dodger Stadium as he approaches free agency.
Ken Rosenthal will be a part of the Dodgers Mets coverage with Joe Buck and Eric Karros coming up shortly. Ken, thank you. And guys, let's talk about this deal. Okay, a potential deal with Carlos Lee, but a real deal in place that'll send Jim Thome to the Orioles. Chris Davis homered today, but he's been struggling. Nick Markakis hurt. What do you think about the fit?
I think it's a great fit. I mean, Jim Thome needed to get back to the American League and get some at-bats. So the big thing here, he's going to get at-bats. 5 home runs on the season. No telling what he'll do second half, particularly in count him yards. Davis is another guy we just talked about. The interesting thing with Thome coming over, he's going to DH and get most of the at-bats. Now, Davis, Mark Reynolds, and also Betterman and Nick Johnson have all been kind of DHing, and they've had this carousel, first base and third base, with the trio guys. It'll be interesting as the Orioles are in talks with other clubs, talking about Garza and whoever else. Mark Reynolds is starting to get hot. Is his name going to be out there? Who will they throw in the mix to try to make these things happen?
He still has a big presence, too. I don't care how old he is. Jim Thome has a great presence in the clubhouse.
All right, let's get to some of the highlights from the afternoon games around Major League Baseball today. Earlier, the Sox and Yankees, couple of first-place teams hook up. Jake Peavy, Curtis Granderson, number 23 on the year. For
the Grandy man can.
And that's really all the help that Hiroki Kuroda would need in the 7th. 4-0 Yankees. 1 runner aboard with 2 away. Lexi Ramirez would strike out. 11 punch-outs for Kuroda. Yankees shut out the Pale Hose. Nationals and Braves. Before the top of the 4th, Davey Johnson checking on Steven Strasburg. removed with heat-related issues. In the fourth, Braves on top. Michael Bourne doubling down the line, makes it 5-2. It's now a 7-5 ball game in the bottom of the eighth for the Braves.
Yeah, we've seen that happen with Roy Halladay a few times in that heat.
Pirates and Cardinals, Pedro Alvarez.
Lance Lynn down the middle.
Got him.
Pedro Alvarez started to get hot. That's number 15 on the season for this kid.
Carlos Beltran.
Oh.
Bad news for the Bucks here. Soft liner to center. Andrew McCutchen makes a diving catch, but is hurt on the play. McCutchen got his hand caught underneath him. He would stay in the game, but be removed in the seventh. Bucks win 7-3, but at what cost?
Says he wants to play on Sunday, so X-rays were negative with an injury.
Reds and Giants, bad news for the Reds. Joey Votto getting out of the box with a little hobble. Would leave with knee inflammation. In the seventh, same score, Miguel Cairo replacing Votto at first, and he would take advantage of the opportunity. Reds win 2-1. Matt Leto's second consecutive complete game.
Cairo plays everywhere. You know, he put out first, third, left, right, short, doesn't matter.
Other games, the Indians blasting the Orioles, trying to get to within 2.5 of the first-place White Sox. Phillies have lost 4 in a row, 10.5 back of the first place, farthest they've been out of the lead in the division since 2006. Time for Kevin's highlights.
All right, we're going to start in Chicago here. Cubs pitcher Travis Wood. Something's wrong right there, H. Yep. We're going to straighten it out, though. Clubbies right now are going wild in that clubhouse. In Boston, David Ross. Listen. Nava. Ow! But they're nice. They're friendly right there. We're going to stay in Boston. Jose Bautista of John Lester. Why we're showing this? He hits a car.
It's Matty V's car. Oh.
It's a Jeep. Usually that's a souvenir. That's a Jeep. H?
I'll tell you what, now we've seen this before when, somebody gets a ball, they give it to the son, but he doesn't do this. Hey! No, my reaction though, watch the guy next to it right there. No! That's a Kevin Millar no.
Staying in Houston, here we go. Kristen Norvia throwing out, trying to throw out. Check it out! Dave Clark! Listen up! It's a jewel of a play right there, boys. What do you think about that?
Seriously, with the symbols, you got to do the symbols to punctuate that.
That's my favorite part.
We'll be with you throughout the game with
right
scores and highlights from all the other games going on around the league. Stick around. We'll get you to the ballpark next.
East meets West. The Mets and the Dodgers coming up on Fox.
This is going to be a fun night here at the ballpark.
Josh Hamilton, a walk-off. He is Superman.
Oh, my goodness, again!
The 2012 MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
Good evening, I'm Fox meteorologist Tammy Souza. It's been a warm day out there. Temperatures in the low 90s. We saw big storms last night. Tonight, the storm should stay to the south of us, but there's more on the way for tomorrow. I'll have all the details if you join me tonight after the game.
When the competition saw the success of the Acura MDX, they tried to copy it. But they don't have super handling all-wheel drive, as well as standard Bluetooth connectivity, leather, rear-view camera, and a 2012 Edmunds.com Best Retained Value Award. So while we're flattered, an imitation is still just an imitation. The one and only MDX.
Visit your Chicagoland Acura dealer. Luxury, intelligently priced.
What if the only schedule that mattered was your schedule? What if you could control your TV from wherever you went? With Xfinity, you can set your home DVR from anywhere, so you won't miss a minute of your favorites, and enjoy movies and shows wherever you go, all on multiple devices. You'll get all this and more included with Xfinity. Satellite has nothing like this. Switch to Xfinity TV from Comcast for $29.99 a month for 6 months and get Xfinity Stream Picks free for 3 months. Plus, ask how you could get up to $250 back. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
A couple of teams eager to get back into the postseason. Just about game time as Baseball Night in America sends you to St. Pete. The Tampa Bay Rays hosting the Detroit Tigers.
It's turn back the clock night to the disco era, and the fans have come prepared. The Detroit Tigers making their way into Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida. And welcome to Baseball Night in America on Fox. And the fans making their way in will be treated to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert later on. and hopefully our game will have some of that as well. It is the Tigers against the Rays. And welcome, everyone. Dick Stockton along with Tim McCarver. And Tim, as you know, one of the great barometers of looking at the AL East is who's healthy and who's not. But the Rays today get back 3 key pitchers, including their starter.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays have lost 4 of their last 5, but they have every reason, 3 of them as a matter of fact, to be happy. Jeremy Hellickson is a starter tonight. They have Kyle Farnsworth and Joel Peralta in the bullpen, a much, much stronger pitching staff.
Meanwhile, on the other hand, so much expected of the Detroit Tigers this year, but there's so much time left. But right now, this is a team that is truly stuck in neutral.
Boy, I'll say neutral's the word. They're in that 1 step forward, 1 step back rut. They won 9 of their first 12 games this year, and they haven't won more than 3 in a row since. So Jim Leland's hoping for more consistency out of the offense and the pitching staff.
Well, talk about the offense. They have Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera at the plate. This is a Tiger team that won the division last year. They're tough. Rays will try to quell them. Tigers and Rays coming up in just a moment.
When you pay too much for cable, you feel powerless. When you feel powerless, you want to take the power back. When you want to take the power back, you take karate. When you take karate, you want to use your karate. When you want to use your karate, you become the fist of goodness. When you become the fist of goodness, you run along rooftops. And when you run along rooftops, you fall into a dinner party. Don't fall into a dinner party. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Sometimes circles just make sense. Most knee replacements follow an oval motion. The Get Around knee from Stryker is designed to replace the knee's naturally circular motion. Don't just replace your knee, replace the way your knee moves. All surgery has risks. Recovery takes time and individual results vary. The lifetime of any device is limited and depends on several factors like weight and activity level. Ask your doctor if the Get Around knee is right for you.
Creating a business website is easy. Whether you're a lawyer, a photographer, or a beauty salon. Choose from over 200 types of business. Select your company name, color scheme, and design. Done. Customers will find you everywhere. Changes? Anytime. Revise content, layout, and upload your own pictures. 1-in-1 My Website. Try it now for free. 1-in-1.com.
0 calories. Maximum Pepsi taste.
Sorry I yelled at you all these years. Cece, glad you made it.
Oh, what is this place?
Iowa. Only with maximum Pepsi taste and 0 calories.
Whoa.
I love it when he does that. Learn more about the Pepsi Max Field of Dreams at MLB.com/Pepsi Max.
I'm a Major League Baseball all-star.
I didn't get here by chance.
I didn't take the road of easy or the path of the painless. I worked hard to take this field.
For my team,
For my league.
Some call it an all-star break.
it's not a break.
It's not a break, but we play on. Because the battle for the postseason begins now. I play
For the American League.
Juego para la Liga Americana.
I play for the National League.
I will win. I will win.
I will win. The road to October starts here.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
Back here at Tropicana Field, the Tigers and Rays both in 3rd place in their respective divisions. And here is tonight's starting lineup, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Austin Jackson will be in center field, Quentin Berry in left field, Miguel Cabrera playing 3rd base, and Prince Fielder batting cleanup at 1st. Delman Young is the designated hitter, Alex Avila behind the plate, Brennan Bosch in right field, Johnny Peralta is at shortstop, and batting 9th, Ramon Santiago at 2nd, facing Jeremy Hellickson, who is 4-3 on the year, making his 14th start of the season.
His last start was back on June 14th. Jeremy back on the hill, and that's where he wants to be. He's had 13 starts this year, 4-3 record, earned run average of below 3.5. And we take a look at the scouting report for Jeremy tonight. His last start, as we said, June 14th versus the New York Mets. 1-6 career record in June. If that's the case, why didn't Joe Madden move him to tomorrow on July 1st? 2.64, excellent career earned run average at home.
Maybe he wants that second win in June. He's winless, however, in his previous 5 starts. So the opening pitch tonight brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And we're set to go with Austin Jackson stepping in for the Detroit Tigers. You want to talk about a guy who has made strides. He leads all leadoff hitters in on-base percentage in Major League Baseball. Had 4 hits in the series opener on Thursday. And Hellickson's first pitch, ball 1 outside.
He's made strides by not making strides. He picks his left foot up and puts it down. That leg kick that was there last year, he did not have a good year last year, but that leg kick, non-existent, just picks the left foot up, puts it down very calmly. His on-base percentage has improved more than any other player in the major leagues.
Hellickson making his 4th start against the Tigers, 1-2, but his ERA 1.77. Swing and a miss, and the count 1-1 to Austin Jackson. In his 3rd year with the Tigers, came over from the Yankees. A couple of years ago, has the only homer of the active Tigers against Hellickson. And the count now is 1-2.
Good changeup from Hellickson. That is his bread and butter right there. The Rays are trying to encourage him to throw more breaking balls to give the hitters a different look.
Missing outside, 2-2. Tigers coming in 37-40. 3rd place in the AL Central. Came in 5 games behind the White Sox and a game and a half behind the Indians. But the Indians are stomping on the Orioles. Jim Leland looking to see if his team can get on a roll, something they haven't been able to do.
Jim telling us before the game, he knows they're going to do it. He just hopes they don't wait too late.
They've lost 5 of their last 8, and the last time they were at the break-even mark was back on May the 5th. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And Hellickson on a changeup gets Austin Jackson with a strikeout, and there's 1 gone in the Tiger first, bringing up Quentin Berry, the left fielder.
You got the ideal move for that changeup. It looks like a fastball, but isn't. You swing, and it's not quite there.
So here's Berry batting .308 with a homer and 13 runs batted in. If he gets on base, he's a threat because he hasn't been caught yet. 12 stolen bases. So Hellickson will try to keep him off base, of course, with Cabrera on deck. Conrad playing in a couple of steps at third base, looking for the bunt, and Berry has used that bunt to good measure, especially recently. There's Conrad at third. In for the strike, 1-1.
Talking to Joe Madden about last year's American League Rookie of the Year, Jeremy Hellickson, and he made a great comment. He said he has a wonderful pulse about him. That says a lot about a young pitcher.
Very calm, serene. Inside corner, strike 2. Good location there for Hellickson, and he's ahead on the count to Berry.
You talk to some of the Rays players, and they say Jeremy's like he's pitching at Hoover High in Des Moines. He's the first Rays player from the state of Iowa.
2 balls and 2 strikes, and we've got to make mention of these uniforms because it's throwback night. And the headline in the Tampa Tribune is the Rays go back to a time that never was. Because you never saw a uniform like that in the big leagues. The San Diego Padres were close, not quite like this.
I'll tell you, the Rays have one of the more innovative marketing staffs here. Not a big payroll, as everybody knows, but it is fun to come to the game here. They make it about as fun as anybody. One of 10 concerts that they're having at the Trop tonight, as Dick mentioned in the open, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Boy, what a show that'll be. Broken back ground ball to Rhymes at second, and Berry is retired. 2 down in the first inning, and the dangerous Miguel Cabrera coming to the plate. Let's take a look at the Rays defensively, and they have faltered. They're last in the league right now. There's the outfield: Jennings, Upton, and Zobra. Conrad, Elliott Johnson, Rhymes, and Pena in the infield. Lobaton, the pack catcher for Jeremy Hellickson. They've made 72 errors, second to the Orioles, who have 75, unlike the Rays.
Yeah, the Rays and the Tigers, both with poor defenses. The Tigers have given up 41 unearned runs. That's second in the American League. And the Rays, 40.
Cabrera on the first pitch, singles to right field. What else is new? Ninth leading hitter in the league, batting .309, 16 homers, 62 RBIs, and a 2-out single for Miguel Cabrera.
It is such a cliche, Dick, but talk about a guy who is born to hit. I mean, they try to pitch him inside. You just try to hold him down. You hope that he hits with 2 out and nobody on, which is the case here. I think he broke his bat on that line drive the other way. But Prince Fielder should have all sorts of opportunities to drive in Cabrera this year.
51 RBIs for Fielder, who takes low ball 1. 12 homers to go along with a .297 average. And we're going to find out the All-Star squads tomorrow. Right now, he's the leading vote getter at first base.
Won the All-Star game for the National League last year with a 3-run home run in the 6th inning in Arizona.
3-time All-Star with the Brewers, looks at a pitch away, and Hellickson falls behind 2-0. Tigers have not changed their uniforms that much over the years. This is their '79 version. Now they go back to the script which they had for many, many years in the long ages of Hank Greenberg and Al Kaline, and they went to the print on the road very briefly. And it's 3-0 now to Fielder.
I think even as far back as Ty Cobb.
Yes. That old English D that you see on the helmet is their home uniform. They don't use orange at home. It's just navy and white. I'm talking to a uniform fanatic here.
I am. An informed uniform man.
Cabrera, the runner at first, taking on 3-0. The pitch is a strike. You played for 2 teams that really didn't change uniforms that much, as we see the last.
That's true. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. That ball right down the pipe. Most guys do not like to swing 3-0. It's a quirky thing with hitters.
On deck is Delman Young. And ball 4, so Fielder draws the walk. Cabrera will go to second, so Tigers with 2 out get a single and a walk, and that'll bring up the DH Delman Young. So here is Delman Young, 6 homers, 29 runs batted in, .269 hitter.
A lot of teams build their teams around the 3rd and 4th hitter, but for the Tigers, the 5th and 6th hitters are very, very important in their lineups because of the fact that Cabrera and Fielder get on so much.
Check swing, but there's a strike on the slider to Young, who's had 3 straight games with 2 hits. He's 6 for his last 13 and can take advantage here with the Tigers have 2 runners on. Good pitch by Hellickson in on the fist, fouled off, and it's 0-2.
That's what opens up that outside part of the plate. When you pitch hitters inside and crowd them with the fastball, that does a great deal of good when you want to go away from them. If you keep doing that, then it ceases to be outside. They start looking for it and can center the ball. Look for Hellickson to go back away.
And a breaking ball chopped to shortstop, and Elliott Johnson gets the force at second, and that'll do it. The Tigers leave 2, get a hit, and it's the Tigers nothing and the Rays coming to bat.
rises. Rated PG-13. Advance tickets now on sale. In theaters and IMAX July 20th.
There's a stain and sealant in one that waterproofs, protects, and beautifies with every single stroke. We call it Olympic Maximum. You'll call it the ultimate multitasker. Insist on Olympic. Available at Lowe's and other fine retailers.
This is the plan that revolves around you. Introducing Share Everything. Unlimited talk, unlimited text, and a single pool of shareable data that powers up to 10 devices. The first plan of its kind. Share Everything. Only from Verizon.
And here is tonight's starting lineup for the Rays, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you've got to live Moss. Desmond Jennings will be followed by Carlos Pena, B.J. Upton hitting third, and Luke Scott, the DH, batting cleanup. Ben Zobrist in the number 5 slot, Brooks Conrad, followed by Jose Lobaton, Elliott Johnson hitting 8th, and Will Rhimes batting 9th, facing Rick Porcello, 5-5 on the year, making his 16th start of the season.
Only 23 years old. He won 14 games for the Tigers 3 years ago. That's the youngest pitcher ever to win that many games in a Detroit uniform. Scouting report, there is 43 career wins and only 23 years old. Ground balls a must. Jim Leyland said you can find out early. If he's throwing ground balls, he'll win the game. If he's throwing fly balls, not good at all for the Tigers.
Leland has said, look, they may know that the sinker is coming, so what? They still have to hit it, and they'll hit it on the ground. How bad is that? Well, here's Desmond Jennings. And what a night last night, hitting 2 home runs against Justin Verlander and making a tremendous catch, hitting .241 with 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. Takes a fastball, 1-0 the count. Just came off the DL early in June after missing 21 games. Struggled earlier in the week, was down 7th in the order, now back the last couple of games in the leadoff position. 1-1.
Both of these managers very, very honest. And Joe Madden with a comment before Desmond's game last night saying yesterday, if the Rays are going to make it back to the playoffs, then Desmond Jennings has to do what he does best. And that's a lot. He is some young talent from Birmingham, Alabama.
Moved into the lineup late last year and hit 10 homers with 20 steals in the 69 games he appeared in. So you knew he had the possibilities. 2-1 pitch to the leadoff hitter, fastball foul back. And it's 2-2 with Pena on deck. Rays are 41-36, came in tied for third with the Red Sox, 5.5 games behind the Yankees, who won. So now they're 6 behind. The Yankees beat the White Sox 4-0. And now 2 games behind Baltimore, maybe 1 if the Orioles go on to lose to the Indians. Jennings last night.
You started this inning off by saying living Moss, and that's exactly what Jennings did last night with a catch, 1 home run off Verlander, and then another home run off Justin Verlander. So the best night he's had in a Rays uniform.
And only the 4th hitter ever to hit 2 home runs in a game off of Verlander. And he goes down swinging, and Carlos Pena will come up with 1 out.
You saw that motion of Jennings telling Carlos Pena. Carlos said, what was that pitch? Looked like a straight changeup, and Jennings motioned that it was a sinker going down in under the hands of Desmond Jennings.
Here is Pena, who hit a 3-run homer last Sunday against the Phillies. Since then, 3 for 25. And very often, Joe Madden will change the lineup and put struggling hitters even in the leadoff spot. He's done it with Ben Zobrist, with Zobrist in the past.
Here it is right here. Desmond Jennings telling Carlos Pena that was a pitch that went down.
And that's the kind of pitch Porcello wants to throw.
Right.
On the strike, inside part of the plate, no balls and 2 strikes to Pena with B.J. Upton on deck.
This again keeps hitters, strong hitters like Pena, away from diving with that outside sinker. Keep him honest inside.
Check swing and a foul at the plate. Porcello has won 2 of his last 3 starts. 1-1 in 3 starts against the Rays. But here at Tropicana Field has lost his only decision in an ERA of close to 5. Struck out Jennings and is ahead of Carlos Pena. No balls and 2 strikes.
Think of the last 3 pitches. Inside, outside, inside. Those football fans, it's like Blanchard and Davis, right? Old inside, outside with Notre Dame, or with Army, I beg your pardon, in the late 40s.
1-2 punch.
Yep.
It's always good to have a punch. If you have a 1-2 punch, things are even better. And swings and misses as he chases it. And Pena goes down. 2 strikeouts for Porcello and 2 out in the Rays first.
Back away. Good changeup to get Pena.
So 2 down and B.J. Upton, and there again you see Porcello moving the ball in and out in the strike zone. Here is Upton, and he looks at a breaking ball for a strike, hitting .247, 5 homers, 25 runs batted in.
I think even baseball pitchers become enamored with keeping the ball down. In my experience, the best way to work hitters is the outside lane of the plate and the inside lane of the plate. Balls down the middle of the plate that are knee high get hit a long way. If you don't believe that, talk to golfers.
Yeah, right.
Theirs never move and it's down.
Well, if you don't keep the ball inside to begin with, you know that the hitter is going to move closer to the plate. And
right.
Then if you miss outside, forget it.
That's the formula for getting hitters out, working inside and outside.
Chop to third base. Cabrera off balance makes the play, and Rick Porcello with a 1-2-3 inning and 2 strikeouts. We've completed 1 here in St. Pete. No score between the Tigers and the Rays.
I have 3 daughters and my son, and then I have 11 grandkids. Right when you see them, they're yours. It's like, it's part of me. It's me again. Now that I'm retiring, they all have plans for me. I'm excited.
I may have retired from the game, but not from being big. Good thing one car gives me full-size luxury and 36 miles per gallon, which is nice because I've got shoes that are bigger than most hybrids and more stylish too. If you don't know the luxurious yet fuel-efficient LaCrosse, you don't know Buick.
Celebrate Independence Day with the EPA estimated 36 highway MPG LaCrosse for around $279 per month. Consider it a new lease on luxury.
Hanging out with Cal has its benefits. So does taking one-a-day meds.
Go to stayinthegame.com to enter for a chance to meet me and watch the 2013 MLB All-Star Game.
If you can hold your nachos with one hand, you can be a hero with the other. Because your nachos are wrapped inside Taco Bell's new 99-cent beefy nacho burrito.
Today's game, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Well, the Indians beat the Orioles 11-5, and that's good news for the Rays and not good news for the Tigers, as they are chasing both of these teams in their respective divisions. And Alex Avila, the Tiger catcher, leading off in the second inning against Jeremy Hellickson. Avila hitting .247 with 5 homers and 22 runs batted in. And a strike. Gave him a little bit of a high strike on the outside corner there.
Mistakes work too if they take them. If they swing at them, however, it's another story.
Fly ball out to center field. B.J. Upton moved about 4 steps to make the catch, and there's one gone in the second. And time now for tonight's Ford Go Further keys to the game.
For the Tigers, as we said in the opening, get out of neutral. No 1 step forward, 1 step back. Try to take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And as far as the Rays are concerned, try to follow Desmond's lead from last night when he had his best game in a Tampa Bay uniform.
Brennan Bosch, the right fielder, with 1 out, and he really has been in a tailspin at the plate. Looks at ball 1. He had 4 hits against the Cubs back on June the 13th. He has only 6 hits since that game.
Man, 17 days.
Took something off that pitch, and Bosch fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned Hellickson 1-6 in his career in June, but let's give him some props. The other months, 20-7, pretty good. Wants to get out of June though with a win, and the Rays, they want to get on a pretty good roll themselves. To the left side, Elliott Johnson. And in time, good play by Pena, the first baseman, with the long stretch, kept his foot on the bag, and there were 2 down.
Yeah, that's what Gold Glovers do. Not only a stretch, but across his body to make the play. Elliott Johnson does not have a strong arm, but good enough. Good play by Pena.
2 down to Johnny Peralta. Peralta batting .257, 4 homers, 22 runs batted in. And a shot to center field. Upton is right there and makes the play. Line drive to B.J. Upton, and a 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Hellickson. In the middle of the second inning, no score here in St. Pete.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Should have used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead. They'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Send a note. Stay informed. Catch a show. Make your point. Make a memory. Make a masterpiece. Read something. Watch something. And learn something. Do it all more beautifully with the Retina display on iPad.
How do you know it's summertime?
Well, I'm flipping burgers and talking about the Ford Summer Sales event.
Oh, wow.
This would definitely be the car I would want to get.
Like the Fusion?
We love the Fusion.
Mileage matters.
Absolutely.
Up to 33 miles per gallon. The sync system. You can take all the music and put it into the hard drive.
He just got a glimpse at some 21st century technology and he's flipping out.
Don't miss the Ford Summer Sales event. Get a Fusion with 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,750 cash back. Now at your local Ford dealer.
Serving up Fords with everything on them.
Starting this Friday and all weekend long, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Burger King.
Here it is, a groove slightly trans.
Bud Light Lime. It's everything you love about Bud Light with a twist of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling.
Tonight's game is presented by Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling. Rays batting in the bottom of the second inning, and the cleanup hitter, Luke Scott, the DH, will be the first to hit. Some Tiger fans making their way here, and some of the guys in the pool playing with the Rays. They used to be known the Devil Rays. They changed that. And you're right, Tim. This is a good time. You come here to this ballpark, you see this team play, it's a good time.
They know how, the facility is not good. Everybody knows that. And Stu Sternberg, who is the head of the Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, the president, accepting it. He hired the right man in Joe Madden. And they have a terrific front office. And they market their team as well as they can in this building.
Luke Scott, the DH, leading off, came off the disabled list on Thursday. And he's 0 for 7 since doing that. Interesting, he was out 17 games and still leads the Rays in runs batted in with 36. Chops this one to the right side, and Santiago will make the play, and Luke Scott is retired. Well, All-Star Game festivities begin tomorrow with the selection show on TBS, and then on July 9th, don't miss the Home Run Derby on ESPN, and of course the main event, Tuesday, July 10th. See the players arrive on the Red Carpet Show on MLB Network, followed by the 2012 All-Star Game here on Fox at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And Tim, another All-Star Game for you as a broadcaster. You've had many. You know you're going to the Hall of Fame, and as a player, you've also distinguished yourself.
Thank you very much, Dick.
Ben Zobrist taking a strike. Zobrist begins a string of 4 straight switch hitters against Porcello. Zobrist, Conrad, Lobaton, and Johnson. Zobrist hitting .252, 10 homers, 32 runs batted in, and he's been on fire. 1-1.
That's why Joe Madden does not want to move Zobrist out of that 5-hole. He said, normally I would move Pena into the 5-hole and Zobrist up in the lineup, but Zobrist is locked in that 5-hole, and I just simply do not want to move him out of it. How valuable has this guy been? An all-star in 2009, a switch hitter. He has been largely responsible for the Rays going to the postseason from an offensive standpoint, can play any of a number of positions.
And was a throw-in in the trade with the Astros back in 06.
Right.
Who knew?
He is a good player.
And with the former Tiger Matt Joyce on the DL, has played more right field lately than second base. Porcello with the count 2-2, and time is called. Don't forget the Rays not only missing Joyce, but Evan Longoria. And they managed to stay within 2 games of 500. Deep drive, hit to right center field. And making the play is Austin Jackson for out number 2. You mentioned the Tigers have struggled defensively with Berry, Jackson, and Bosch in the outfield. Cabrera, Peralta, Santiago, and Fielder at the infield spot. And behind the plate, Alex Avila catching Rick Porcello, who has retired the first 5 hitters he's faced so far, and Brooks Conrad stepping in. Conrad over the 300 mark with a homer and 6 runs batted in. claimed off waivers from the Brewers on June the 21st, was hitting under 100 for Milwaukee. Madden thought this guy could help.
Not only Joe Madden, but Andrew Friedman, the general manager. We talked about how balanced the front office of the Rays is, and Andrew Friedman knows what he's doing. And this is the type, with this team in a small market, the type of players that they are forced to pick up during the middle of the season because of their payroll problems.
And their style of play. They
Sure.
don't have the big bashers, so they have to be creative and manufacture runs and do things a lot of teams ordinarily wouldn't do.
Well, the unfortunate thing about being creative this year is different from other years because Evan Longoria, your stud in the lineup, your guy who is a consistent threat offensively, a terrific player at third base, and I believe we're going to talk to Evan in an inning or so.
Kind enough to join us on the broadcast today, and getting the green light was Conrad. Swings and misses, and now the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Evan Longoria itching to, and that may be an understatement, to get back. Been on the disabled list since the 1st of May. The partially torn hamstring. 3-1 pitch, and cued off the bat to Cabrera, the third baseman, and second straight 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. And Evan Longoria, almost on cue, will join us when we come back as we go to the 3rd inning here in St. Petersburg.
The 2012 MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
My Buick Enclave is filled with innovations that make it incredibly intelligent, like smart slide seating and a power liftgate. But all people seem to remember is how good it looks. I can relate. If you don't know the smart and sexy Enclave, you don't know Buick.
Celebrate Independence Day with 2 years of premium services on the Buick Enclave for around $299 per month. Consider it a new lease on luxury.
Celebrate the 4th of July in style with Lowe's. Get $5 off Valspar paint and primer in 1. And with the temperature on the rise, there's no better time to take 10% off major appliances. And 20% off in-stock Hunter ceiling fans. Plus, save an additional 5% off everything, every day. So you'll have more than just fireworks to ooh and ah about. Lowe's, never stop improving.
You can choose to take your chances, or you can choose the Infiniti JX, the only luxury crossover in the world that can sense what's behind you, even when you can't, and can apply the brakes, even before you do. The all-new Infiniti JX with backup collision intervention system. Infiniti, inspired performance.
Stay one step ahead of the weather and download the free Fox Chicago weather app today.
Fox Baseball Night in America is presented by Budweiser. Along with Tim McCarver, Dick Stockton here in St. Petersburg. Tigers and Rays no score as the Tigers come up in the 3rd inning, and we're delighted to have Evan Longoria, who's on the disabled list, and as we said, more than itching to come off, and glad we can chat with him. Ramon Santiago, the number 9 hitter for the Tigers, leading off against Jeremy Hellickson. In the first pitch, swung on a looper into center field, and coming on to make the catch, B.J. Upton, and there's 1 out. Well, Evan, what's the timeline right now? I know you had a little setback as far as your rehab assignment is going.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a setback, thankfully. Obviously something that I didn't want to go through and wouldn't have liked to have gone through, but I don't really have a timeline right now, and it's not a bad thing. But there are a couple hurdles I still have to jump through to get back to where I was, and hopefully that's an accelerated timetable for that. And I'm really looking forward to getting back on the field.
Just think, Evan, when your injury is healed, your hamstring is healed, you won't have to answer any more questions when you're going to be ready, right?
Exactly. I mean,
are you looking at me, Tim?
Yes.
No. I figured that was going to be the first question I had to answer, as it always is. But I mean, I wish I didn't have to answer those questions. We always there's a base hit.
Okay.
We always, all of us obviously want to be healthy and on the field and they're able to contribute. And so, I'm looking forward to not having to answer that question anymore. And the sooner the better.
Austin Jackson with a base hit, second hit of the game for the Tigers with one out, bringing up Quentin Berry. And Evan, I know you played at Long Beach State when you're good friends with Troy Tulowitzki. He's been hurt this year too and recovering from surgery. You guys talk?
We do. Yeah, I talked to him. I exchanged text message with him probably, I think it was a day or two before he actually went in for the surgery. And he's one of those guys that, like me and like a lot of guys up here, I mean, we try to play through stuff, and we sometimes, you move along too quickly, and it doesn't work out in your favor. So he's a grinder. Like you said, I played with him at Long Beach, and he did some of the same things there. Man, he had a little procedure on his hand. I think he broke his hamate bone his junior year, and this is in the past now. Thankfully, I can say it. But he ended up, I saw him cut the cast off himself, and he was back on the field and playing. And so, he's that kind of guy, and I have no doubt that he'll be back, quickly and ready to go.
Quentin Berry at the plate, 1-0 the count with Austin Jackson, who has 7 stolen bases on at first. With one away, the pitch outside for a ball, and count now 2-0 with Miguel Cabrera on deck for the Tigers.
Evan, in your young career, does anything stand out more than the home run you hit on the last pitch of the regular season last year against the Yankees?
No. I mean, that's a pretty easy question to answer. I've had a lot of great moments over my short career, been able to be a part of a lot of things, but none more special than that. The culmination of that day was the greatest of my playing career up to this point.
Unbelievable.
It was. It was an incredible day for baseball, and we actually just found out they got nominated for an ESPY for best moment of the year. So hopefully we can go ahead and win that, because that'll be really cool.
You'll win the Foxy Award. We're not going to worry about that, even though it hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah, well, we'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll make sure you win that one. We'll go behind the scenes. 2-0 pitch and a base hit to right field by Berry. Stopping at second is Jackson. So back-to-back singles after Santiago was retired, and will bring up the dangerous Miguel Cabrera. And this is what you're talking about, Tim. A moment to remember.
Wow, Slim. Wow.
It was a pretty fun day.
That's got to be a great feeling, and it's something they can never take away from you. It's something you have, and you've got so many room for so many more great moments as well. Here's Cabrera, who singled.
This guy can really hit.
Can he ever?
Well, Tim was saying, talk about a guy born to hit, right, Evan?
It's unbelievable, man. I mean, he's got such an unbelievable approach at the plate. He's unlike a lot of guys. I mean, he's really an unselfish hitter. You watch him in that first at bat. I mean, you can tell he's trying to do nothing more than hit the ball the other way. When a lot of guys, you may see a first pitch fastball and try to hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, he has the innate ability to hit the ball out the other way as easily as anybody in the game, but it's unbelievable to watch.
Try to check his swing. So the count is 1 strike. Jackson is at second, Berry at first. Tigers had 2 runners on in the first inning, and Hellickson got that last out, and a check swing on the pitch inside, and count 1-1.
Evan Longoria is our guest from the dugout. Did Cabrera check in time? He didn't go around.
Not on that one. I got a good angle on that one. He didn't go. The last one he did for sure.
Yeah, you know, Ev, and just looking down from our perch up here at the dugout and watching how attentive everybody in the dugout is when this guy comes up to hit, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to eventually go down as one of the greatest hitters of all time, in my opinion.
And a fair ball. Great play made at third base. The only possible play at first, and everyone is safe. But Brooks Conrad saved a run with a great stab just fair down the line. Cabrera is on at first base with an infield hit. The base is loaded, one out, but Conrad saved a run. And maybe more.
You love watching him play the game, too. He has so much fun playing the game.
Yeah, he really does.
He plays it the right way, too. You know, he runs hard, makes the plays, and, you know, he doesn't really show anybody up. Just has a good time.
You know, it looked to me like Carlos was stretching, but actually thought the play was going to be closer than it was.
I think the ball kind of pulled him off the line. I think he had to come off the field.
On the second shot, you're right.
So despite that play by Conrad, the bases are loaded, one out, and Prince Fielder, who walked in the first inning, one out, bases loaded, no score, and a fastball on the outside corner. Good pitch by Hellickson.
Here it is. We're showing that one more time, and you're right on the money, Evan.
Just pulling him up the line a little bit.
Yeah.
He was stretching, trying to stay on, but just couldn't stay on. That was a good play, though.
Whew. Saved a run temporarily.
Yep.
Jackson is at third, Berry at second. Cabrera with the lead at first. Pitch is in tight, and the count 1-1. And you're right, Hellickson going inside, going outside, and working the ball and using the plate.
Yeah, both Porcello and Hellickson similar in that regard thus far.
And a shot off of Hellickson to Pena at first, steps on the bag for the out, but how is Hellickson? He is still down. Hellickson was hit in the leg, and a run will score, but the concern right now is with Jeremy Hellickson, who was hit and a shot right back, and it's his right leg. Just came off the DL today.
Oh my gosh. You hope that the ball hit him below the knee. Looked like it hit him in the shin, but it's hit so hard and hitting him flush, drifting over toward Pena. Pena wanted to go to second base and then decided to take the sure out at first base. Evan, what's your view of this? This is nasty.
It's below his knee, but that ball was hit really hard. We got one other guy already on the DL with the same thing, Neiman. The hits just keep coming.
Yeah, this is your club has been really snake bit with, injury leading with yourself. And yet you look at where you are right now, and, if people get healthy and get back, you got a great shot.
We do. I mean, that's what we got. It looks like he's going to stay in. Or give it a try at least. Yeah, I mean,
Evan, I have talked to you about a lot of the players a generation ago, and one guy that I've talked to you about is Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
Bob Gibson took a shot off his ankle in 1967 from Roberto Clemente, and he threw 5 pitches before collapsing after the 5th pitch. 5 straight balls, he collapsed, and some people think that broke the bone when Gibson threw that 5th pitch. But he was out. He missed 2 months of the season as a result.
Yeah, I mean, the amazing thing, Neiman, for him to complete that play when he got hit off the ankle was pretty incredible too. I mean, considering the type of fracture that he had, I mean, it wasn't, it was a pretty bad fracture. So for him to be able to get up and make the play, you expect a guy that's 300 pounds, 7 foot, 300 pounds to kind of just collapse under that weight. So it's shows some big guts from him.
And Evan, we were talking about your club and how you know, when you get back yourself and Joyce and some of those other, you know, you got back 3 pitchers today, how good that will be in a race in which no one seems to be ready to run away with anything.
I mean, you know, that's been our mindset. Oh, he's done.
Too bad.
Just hit him too flush, I guess, Evan.
Yeah, I mean, that ball's hit really hard.
Well, Evan, I know you feel bad about this, and all of the Rays community does. And Davis is getting up. Thanks for being with us, and you get back soon, okay?
All right. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks, Evan.
All right.
We're going to take a break. Tigers lead 1-0. New pitcher coming in.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now it's even more fuel efficient with available SkyActiv technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now, get the Mazda 3 available with SkyActiv technology for 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Creating a business website is easy. Point and click to create your site. Choose from 200 industries with customizable business designs. Add your pictures and text. Customers will find you everywhere. Try it for free. oneandone.com.
This is Mike. Mike's being healthy and chewing like a man. Introducing One-A-Day VitaCraves for Men. It's a gummy multivitamin with more vitamin B to convert food to energy and help Mike do manly things like wrestle bears and take out the garbage. New One-A-Day VitaCraves for Men.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
So subbing from the bullpen in a hurry is J.P. Howell, the 29-year-old left-hander from the University of Texas, who last pitched in Kansas City on Tuesday. It did not give up a run in an inning and a third, and has as much time as he needs to get ready to pitch to Delman Young with runners at second and third and 2 out after Jeremy Hellickson had to leave the game after a shot off the bat of Prince Fielder. Ball deflected to Pena, who made the play. A run scored. Here is what happened.
This is a little bit of a different view from high third. Boy, I'm telling you, could hear it. And now a shot from Hellickson's standpoint after following through the shot back to the box. Jeremy is down. He had not pitched since June 14th, and he comes back and pitches 2 2/3, and then that happens. Man.
Just coming off the disabled list, and you talked about how Joel Peralta and Kyle Farnsworth and Hellickson all came off, and how delighted was Joe Madden to say, I've got 3 important pitchers coming off today.
Yeah, Joe said, you know, now the Yankees have been faced with CC Sabathia and Andy Pettit out, and the Rays entered tonight's game 5.5 behind the Yankees, actually 6 since the Yankees won today. But, you know, this is a real setback right here. One of their better pitchers, the rookie of the year last year in the American League, down, and we'll try to have it for you as soon as we can.
Here's Delman Young, runners at second and third with 2 outs. Young hit into a force out to end the first inning, and there is a Breaking ball for a strike from Howell, who was not allowed to run in his last 5 outings after a rocky stretch earlier in the month. And Delman Young, the DH for the Tigers. And the bases loaded and 1 out, have 1 run scored. And the Rays trying to get out of it. Down only 1-0. 0-2 now to Young.
A lot of times when a pitcher comes into a game because of an injury situation, he really doesn't warm up as well as he should. You know, if J.P. Howell started a game, he'd have 15 minutes to warm up. He comes in for an injury and warms up with about 15 throws or so. That is a common problem when you enter a game in the inning and the umpires are saying, well, are you ready? And he appears to be.
0-2 with 2 down and 2 runners in scoring position. 1-2 to Delman Young. Tigers won the division by 15 games last year. And talking to Jim Leland before the game, he says, I don't think you'll see anyone running away with any division.
I mean, look at Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City just swept the Rays this past week. Kansas City is 1/2 game behind the Tigers right now.
Foul ball. Then you got the Pirates in the National League.
Yeah.
And they won today, but the Reds also won. So the Pirates doing a great job of hanging in there quietly, just a game behind the Reds in the NL Central.
How about the pitching of the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Wow, yeah.
A.J. Burnett's won 8 in a row, 9-2 on the year.
There are the scores, and Reds winning and the Pirates beating the Cardinals. Of course, here focus is on the American League. The Yankees won today 4-0. And the Indians beat the Orioles. A 1-2 pitch and fouled back on the screen. How about A.J. Burnett? And look at the struggles he had in the pinstripes, and now a change of scenery.
Well, you know, we're going to talk about that later, but he was 18-8 the year before he signed with the Yankees, and now having all the success this year with Pittsburgh. There is something to people who cannot play in New York, players who cannot pitch in New York or hit in New York. It's different there than it is elsewhere.
You have to have the right temperament.
You do.
J.P. Howell missing outside. Berry with the lead at third, and Conrad playing well behind the bag. So Berry getting a lengthy lead as you see the last pitch.
Little change up off the plate away. To Delman Young. I think Howell has proven that he's going to try to get him out with breaking stuff, off-speed stuff.
And he pops it up to right field. Ben Zobrist makes the catch to retire the side, and the Tigers score only 1 run after loading the bases with 1 out.
Sometimes circles just make sense. Most knee replacements follow an oval motion. The get-around knee from Stryker is designed to replace the knee's naturally circular motion. Don't just replace your knee, replace the way your knee moves. All surgery has risks. Recovery takes time and individual results vary. The lifetime of any device is limited and depends on several factors like weight and activity level. Ask your doctor if the get-around knee is right for you.
Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. I. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum.
The redesigned 8-passenger Pilot. Smarter thinking from Honda.
Your cheating heart will make you weak.
Pepsi Max? Really? Bet you're wondering how they got all that Pepsi taste into a 0-calorie cola.
Yeah.
Sir, you have won Pepsi Max for life!
I'm back, and you're my first guest.
It's Reach!
You're gonna be famous, kid.
Introducing the Evo 4G LTE from Sprint. Evo, a device like no other. Hear what you love with Beats Audio. Capture what you love with continuous shooting. Over 7 million people already love Evo. Now, it's your turn. The HTC Evo 4G LTE, exclusively from Sprint.
Fox Monday is all new.
Are you feeling lucky?
And it's a night when there's a lot at stake.
I'm scared to death.
First, with an all-new Hell's Kitchen, it's
steak night.
And with Chef Ramsay looking for a head chef, there's no room for mistakes.
Oh my God, I can't barely breathe.
Take it to the medic, urgently.
Then, an all-new Master Chef hits the beach for the biggest trucking challenge of the season.
How many burgers are on?
0 burgers on.
I'm gonna flip my lid.
Master Chef after Hell's Kitchen. They're all new Monday and Tuesday on Fox.
And welcome back. Yes, it's the disco era in the 70s. And look at the hairdo and the costume.
Ball lost in his hair is a ground rule double.
It's like the ivy in Wrigley Field when the ball gets caught in the ivy.
It
right?
is.
Same thing. Jose Lobaton leading off in the bottom of the third inning against Rick Porcello. Lobaton batting .230 with 4 runs batted in. So Lobaton a switch hitter, followed by Elliott Johnson, who's a switch hitter, and then Will Rhymes. The bottom third of the order against Porcello, who's retired 6 in a row, and of course a lengthy time in the dugout before coming out to pitch this third inning because of the injury to Hellickson and his departure. Breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Brennan Bosch makes the catch, and there's one away. Next Saturday on Baseball Night in America, the AL East leading Yankees will be in Boston to take on the Red Sox in another showdown between two of sports' greatest rivals or other regional action. Baseball Night in America telecast presented by Budweiser begins next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and starts time in your area. Here is Elliott Johnson, who takes ball one. Johnson hitting .271, 4 homers, 20 runs batted in. Fouls it off, has exceeded his career total of 44 starts prior to this year.
Yeah, I saw that. He's already got close to, well, this is his 50th start, and last year he only had 44. So a lot more playing time for Elliott.
And there's a bunt and a good one. And there is Avila, who has no play. Perfect bunt by Elliott Johnson. And the first hit of the game for the Rays, a one-out bunt single.
An architect couldn't have drawn this up any better. That is beautiful. Put the ball where nobody is.
No throw, no chance. So the first base runner, a bunt single by Elliott Johnson, and here's Will Rhymes, the number 9 hitter. Johnson, by the way, 13 stolen bases in 17 tries. Rhymes batting .214, looks at strike one from Porcello. Rhymes got the start at second base last night. Played for the Tigers in 2010 and 2011 before joining the Rays in a non-roster role this year. 1-1 the count to Will Rhymes.
In fact, the Rays have 3 players on their roster who were signed the same year, back in 2005. Matt Joyce is on the disabled list. Burke Badenhop, who's in the bullpen, and Will Rhymes. They roomed together in Oneonta, New York, 19 miles from Cooperstown. I mean, go figure. And now here they all are with the Rays.
So near and yet so far.
Badenhop signed after taxes for $645. That is a fact.
What was the tax rate that?
I don't know, but it was a $1,000 bonus, and he netted $645. That's Burke Badenhop, and there he is, counting his money, huh, Burke?
Well, maybe he didn't cash the check. Maybe he says, I'm going to keep this forever and frame it. There goes Johnson, and getting his bat on the ball is Rhymes. Going to third is Johnson. Here's the throw high, and he's safe there. Great hustle by Elliott Johnson, who's had a great inning. First with the bunt single, then taking off and not stopping as he goes around to third. As Rhymes is retired, Fielder's throw to Cabrera was high, and Johnson just never stopped.
Yeah, Peralta couldn't see behind him, so he didn't really know what Johnson was going to do. But he hurried his throw enough to give Fielder a chance to come all the way back across the diamond and try to get Johnson going to third. This ball not hit well off the end of the bat. Peralta has to charge the ball and then hurries the throw, and then Fielder hurried his throw also, and a good play by Cabrera to keep it in tow.
So here's Desmond Jennings, the leadoff batter.
That was almost a balk.
Yes, it was. And
he's stretching now. First time he wound up, it was almost a balk, so he goes to the stretch. It's a prudent thing to do.
Checking the runner at third. And a fastball. I'm not sure whether Avila got crossed up on that first pitch from Porcello. By the way, Wade Davis has been throwing in the bullpen. We saw him stretching before Howell came in the game when Hellickson got knocked out on the shot off of his shin. Now the Rays with the tying run at third with 2 out. 1-0 the count to Jennings. Struck out his first time up and takes the strike here, and it's 1-1. Tell you, Rhymes did a good job just getting his bat on the ball with the runner going.
Yeah, he did, because that ball was outside.
That pitch is inside, and it's 2-1 to Jennings.
Those are the things that the Rays have to do if they're going to win. They have to maximize their base running. Joe Madden talks about it all the time. He learned that from Bob Clear in the minor leagues.
2-1 pitch popped up to the middle of the infield. And Johnny Peralta makes the catch. So the Rays strand the tying run at third, and we go to the fourth, 1-0. The Tigers in front.
How do you know it's summertime? Well, I'm flipping burgers and talking about the Ford Summer Sales event.
Oh, wow.
This would definitely be the car I would want to get.
Like the Fusion?
We love the Fusion.
Mileage matters?
Absolutely.
Up to 33 miles per gallon. The sync system. You can take all the music and put it into the hard drive.
He just got a glimpse at some 21st century technology and he's flipping out.
Don't miss the Ford Summer Sales event. Get a Fusion with 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,750 cash back. Now at your local Ford dealer.
Serving up Fords with everything on them.
Starting this Friday and all weekend long, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Burger King.
How to speak Australian. 10. 13. Beer. Foster's Australian for beer.
I have 3 daughters and my son, and then I have 11 grandkids. Right when you see them, they're yours. It's like, it's part of me. It's me again. Now that I'm retiring, they all have plans for me. I'm excited.
Temperatures, we should reach our normal high of about 82 degrees.
What can I get you? Cheeseburger? You know what? Any salads?
B-ball, anyone?
And kick the legs wide out to the side. You can do it, Dad!
Thanks, girls.
I'm really proud of you, Dad.
Make the most of your network with Verizon. More 4G LTE coverage than all other networks combined.
Tonight's game, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by Ford. Go further. And the Tigers batting in the 4th inning. J.P. Howell, who came in relief of Jeremy Hellickson, who had to leave the game with Prince Fielder hit a shot off of his shin, and Howell retired Delman Young to end the threat after the Tigers got the 1 run. That's the story of the game, 1-0. And here is Avila, who has flied to center his first time up. Justin Verlander has been kind enough to join us, and we'll be talking with him during this half inning. First pitch is ball 1. And Justin, welcome. And what's it like to see another pitcher get hit like Hellickson got?
Yeah, that's kind of scary. You never like seeing that. Price had one back at him yesterday too. It was kind of scary, but that's a pitcher's nightmare there. So you never like to see it, like I said.
Yeah, Justin, people don't realize how close you are to the hitter. Once you release the ball, you're about 53, 54 feet.
Yeah.
No time to react.
Let's not talk about it. we don't like to think about those things. I've only had one really. There's some wood around here to knock on. Come back in my head direction, but that was scary.
When was that?
It was actually my rookie year.
Chopper to Rhymes at second base, and Avila is retired, 1 out, and then Brennan Bosch coming to the plate, 0 for 1. And Justin, of course, the All-Star squads are going to be named tomorrow, and you've been a perennial 4-time All-Star, and obviously number 5 looms.
Yeah, it's always been exciting, and hopefully I get the chance to go again and represent Detroit and the American League. It's always a blast, and it's always humbling to be sitting in the locker room with that caliber of player and, just chatting it up with some of the best in the business.
Well, you are one of the best in the business, and you are of that caliber of player, and you're too modest to talk about it. But your 2 no-hitters have been just extraordinary, and you almost had another one this year against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it came close. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And
I'll say.
Yeah, I smelled it. I knew I was close. I wanted it. But, hey, what are you going to do? It's a broken bat, single up the middle. And so that's why it's so difficult. You got to be lucky.
J.P. Howell facing Bosch, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And, of course, last night, obviously not the kind of game you would have liked. What's your feeling after a quote-unquote off game for you before your next start?
Well, you got to be able to turn the page. I got 4 days to prepare and get ready for my next start. There was a couple things I know I need to work on. I feel like my curveball got a little bit too big. So I'm working on shortening that up. And in a positive I can take away is my changeup was better. So that's kind of been vacant for me for the last couple months.
I think, Justin, when I see you, when we're going to visit your no-nos before that question right here, these are the 2 no-hitters that you've thrown in your major league career. June 12th, 2007.
Are we talking? Am I supposed to talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
We're watching you.
Oh, man. That was just, pure stuff that day. I felt really good. And, I was actually talked to Prince about it a couple times. I was sitting 98 the whole game. It was just one of those days. My curveball was like 86. I don't know what happened. I haven't had stuff like that since.
Here's Johnny Peralta with 2 out. I'm going to risk asking this question with 2 outs. Your Verlander victory for veterans, second year at Comerica Park, and that's been a great charity for you.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I host veterans and their families, which I think is unique, as they get to experience with their families to my suite on games that I pitch. And, I've gotten great feedback from it.
And you're going to talk more about it,
baby.
Because
hey, we can't jinx this, guys. We talked about it on the break. I'm like 2 for 2 when I'm on the mic. We score runs. So
that is good. That is correct. I can verify that.
Yeah, we got to go. Come on.
Well, Peralta is safe at first, and Santiago will be coming up.
There's no rooting in the broadcast booth, but there is in the dugout.
Absolutely. I'm allowed to cheer and root. And that's all I can do today anyway. So
that was a good play by Ellie Johnson. That ball ate him up, that in-between hop.
That's the 5th hit, and Austin Jackson now, or Ramon Santiago with Peralta at first and 2 out. Tigers leading 1-0. We're playing the top of the 4th inning, and you have a cousin who has served in Afghanistan?
Yes, currently serving, Christopher Verlander. He was actually they did a spread on not him, but him and some of his friends over there. There's a picture in USA Today and stuff, and he got to come home for Christmas break, so I got to see him at home and talk to him, and it was great to see him.
That'll be a great experience for both of you as Santiago misses the pitch out away, and it's 1-1.
Justin, also risking this question, but the one thing I've noticed about you, obviously the finish is at 98, good curveball, good changeup, but it's your rhythm that stands out to me more than anything.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of one of the reasons I starting off the game slower, was to try to establish that rhythm and tempo in my body so that I could build upon it as the game goes along. And then when I'm throwing, 97, 98 towards the end of the game, I'm still in that good rhythm and able to consistently throw strikes where I want them. I feel like if I just come out of the gate trying to do that, I haven't been successful in the past doing so.
By the sixth, there's nothing left, perhaps.
Yeah, and I've thrown a whole lot of pitches getting there, like last night.
2 balls and a strike to throw to first base. And talking to Jim Leland, and all you guys know about it, you got to get on a roll. That's the one thing you haven't been able to do yet.
Yeah, we've just kind of been up and down. Haven't been able to play consistent baseball, really in any facet. It seems like games we hit, we don't pitch. Sometimes our defense is there, sometimes it's not. We just haven't been able to get in that groove. And, I think it's coming, but, I heard where Skip said somewhere along the way, we can't wait too long. It's not early anymore. It's, getting about the halfway point, so we need to get going.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. We're going to thank you, Justin. And if you get a run here, you get credit you for the win, okay?
All right, I'll
That's
take
the deal.
it.
Thanks very much,
guys. All right.
Thanks for being with us.
Yep.
2-2, 2 out, and Peralta on at first base to switch hitting Ramon Santiago. J.P. Howell's pitch and a base hit up the middle, and Peralta will stop at second. So Justin Verlander still is the pitcher announcer of record.
That's right.
In the dugout, 2 on now.
That's right. That was a skate save, by the way, by J.P. Howell. Watch him try to kick this ball with the follow through. I don't know if he tried to do it. They're telling us in the truck that it did not hit him.
Jim Hickey is out, though, the pitching coach to the mound. Wade Davis has been throwing in the bullpen.
Yeah, one more look. Ball hit very hard by Santiago and just missed the foot. Again, and Justin Verlander verified that when you finish as a pitcher, you're about 53 feet from home plate. The most famous line drive, I guess, back in 1956 with Herb Score, the Cleveland Indians, ruined his career. He became an announcer, one of the more gentle people I've ever met, and a great guy.
Great left-hander who had a tremendous fastball, and Gil McDougall to the Yankees hit a shot off of his eye, and it was a real tough situation, and it's going down in Cleveland Indian lore, what that injury meant.
Justin, by the way, is still wearing the headset.
He may do it for every game now. Who knows? Starting something new. Call strike to Austin Jackson in the count. 0-1.
Baseball players aren't superstitious, are they, Justin? Nah, no chance.
Well, he's on, and now there are 2 on. Peralta at second, Santiago at first, and the count 0-1 to Jackson, who singled and scored the Tiger run back in the 3rd inning. And that's in for the strike. And J.P. Howell, remember Howell came in without any warm-ups in the bullpen, needed all the time to get ready for this. And the count 0-2 with 2 outs. And Jackson strikes out. So the Tigers, after 2 out, put together a couple of hits and strand 2. And after 3.5 innings, it's the Tigers 1 and the Rays nothing. Verlander, no decision.
When your cable's on the fritz, you get frustrated. When you get frustrated, your daughter imitates. When your daughter imitates, she gets thrown out of school. When she gets thrown out of school, she meets undesirables. When she meets undesirables, she ties the knot with undesirables. And when she ties the knot with undesirables, you get a grandson with a dog collar. Don't have a grandson with a dog collar. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Celebrate the 4th of July in style with Lowe's. Get $5 off Valspar paint and primer in one. And with the temperature on the rise, there's no better time to take 10% off major appliances. And 20% off in-stock Hunter ceiling fans. Plus, save an additional 5% off everything, every day. So you'll have more than just fireworks to ooh and ah about. Lowe's, never stop improving.
This is the first car that I've been totally in love with. In every way, shape, and form. It's my dream vehicle. On a day-to-day basis, I am not using gas. My round trip is approximately 40 miles to work, head on home, stop at the grocery store, whatever else that I need to do. Still don't have to use gas. I'm never at the gas station unless I want some coffee. It's the best thing ever. As a matter of fact, I'm taking my savings so that I can go to Hawaii.
On Tuesday Night Baseball, AL East rivals battle heading toward the All-Star break. Don't miss Cano and the Bombers as they hit Tampa to battle Upton and the Rays. Yankees, Rays. Tuesday Night Baseball, live on MLB Network.
Fox Baseball Night in America is presented by Budweiser.
Carlos Pena, the first time up, 5 pitches. The first one on the outside part. Inside with the fastball from Porcello. Check swing. Now back in and then away. That has been Porcello, and that's one of the big reasons that he has not allowed a run through 3 innings tonight. And inside, outside. Pardon me, Dick.
No, you're absolutely right, and you've been re-emphasizing that, and that has been the secret to what his success has been so far. And there he starts the first pitch outside to Pena, 1-0 the count. Pena struck out his first time up. Porcello retired the first 7 before Elliott Johnson was safe on a textbook bunt and then went to third on a ground out and was stranded at third. And a foul off of the end of the bat. Right now, let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a DirecTV game break.
Dick, the Twins took their opener in the doubleheader with the Royals. In the nightcap, Joe Mauer's first home run in nearly a month, already the 4th home run of the game. So much for that ballpark eating up power. Twins trying to sweep the Royals in a pair at home. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Dick and Tim in St. Pete.
All right, thank you, Matt. And we saw an example of the turn back the clock uniforms for the Twins wearing the Minneapolis Millers uniform of AAA American Association.
Mickey Mantle played for the Millers. Marvin Throneberry played for Minneapolis back in the early 50s. Of course, Mantle came up before Marvelous Marv.
Carl Yastrzemski.
I think he was the Carl Yastrzemski, right.
1-2 pitch, and Pena fouls it off.
You know, Dick, sometimes a hitter looks back on an at-bat. This is the pitch prior to the last one, and Pena just missed it. You don't get many of those in the middle of the plate, and when you do, you don't want to foul it back.
So Pena now 3 for 26 since that 3-run home run last Sunday at Philadelphia, and that's what slumping hitters will do, just miss. That pitch just missed there, and it's 2-2 to Pena, who is the only current Tampa Bay Ray who has a home run off of Rick Porcello, who was allowed just a bunt single in the first 3 innings. Going the opposite way and a fly ball. Berry in left field on the warning track makes the catch. Joe Madden had the, or I should say Jim Leland had the shift on for Pena, and Pena went the opposite way. He's retired to B.J. Upton.
You know why? Because Porcello forced him to go the other way. Watch where the pitch is. Just off the plate away, right around the knees. All that stuff about pitching to the defense. In other words, with a guy like Pena, and you've got the shift on, that doesn't mean that pitcher should feed him fastballs inside so he can pull the ball. I mean, after all, that's his power.
You're just protecting using the percentages defensively.
But again, more of Porcello pitching in and pitching away and trying to rob these Rays hitters of their power.
Here's Upton, who grounded to third his first time up. One out here in the fourth. Slices this one out to right field. Bosch makes the play. 2 fly balls, 2 outs for Porcello here in the fourth inning, and Luke Scott, the DH, will come up for the second time. There's Luke Scott, who season with the Orioles curtailed by a torn labrum last year. Rays coming in 10th in runs per game in the American League. And there is a breaking ball for a strike to Scott. Goes outside with it, despite the fact that it's a left-handed hitter and infield playing him around to the right. Talking more about the Minneapolis Millers. We mentioned, of course, Willie Mays came from the Millers in '51 to the New York Giants.
Right.
Orlando Cepeda, Ted Williams as well.
I didn't know Williams played there.
Didn't either.
1938, before he came up, his first year with the Red Sox was 39. Pretty good hitter.
That was a pretty good rivalry. That, you know, the St. Paul Saints were a Dodger farm club, and the Minneapolis Millers were a Giant farm club.
Twin cities, but they were anything but twins.
Yes. Bitter rivals. 2-1 pitch, and it's popped up. And it's the catcher, Alex Avila, makes the catch in foul territory. And 1-2-3 innings for Porcello in the first 4, 1-0 Detroit.
Today, with the swipe of a comb, the last gray-haired man on Earth disappeared.
Of the G Series.
Quentin Berry will lead off against J.P. Howell. Berry singled his last time up, 1 for 2 in the game. Has the ability to bunt. Conrad aware of it at third, shows bunt and takes outside for ball 1. We've already seen a classic bunt single by Elliott Johnson of the Rays in the 3rd inning, and he was stranded at third. 29-year-old J.P. Howell will be facing Berry, Cabrera, and Fielder here in the 5th inning.
One of the refreshing stories in the American League, Quentin Berry coming up and getting 5 hits in his first 5 Tiger games. That's the first time since 1918 that a Tiger did that. Thinking about bunting again. That pitch was low. Did he go? No.
2-1. Now home plate umpire Dan Bellino. Mike Machinsky is at first. Crew chief Jerry Lane is at second, and Bob Davidson at third base. Bellino, by the way, has a law degree at age 33 and has been a very successful umpire. Right now, let's check in with Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a DirecTV game break. Matt.
Dick, Diamondbacks and Brewers. Ryan Braun started play today, just 3 for his last 19, but he's come alive with a booming home run against Arizona's Wade Miley. Very quietly, the 21st of the year for the reigning NL MVP. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Dick and Tim in St. Pete.
All right, Matt, and very quiet indeed. And that pitch is down low, and 3-2 the count to Berry. Berry looking to get on with the big sluggers, Cabrera and Fielder, ready to come up for the Tigers, who lead it 1-0 here in the 5th inning. Reaches out and hits a Bounding ball to Rhines. And Berry is retired. 1 out to Miguel Cabrera. Well, we would like to thank the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching tonight's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do, and we hope you're enjoying tonight's telecast.
And those from Arizona had a chance to see Aaron Hill do something over the last 2 weeks that it's just remarkable. He hit for the cycle twice in 12 days. He recycled the cycle.
And guys can cycle through a career and never hit for the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's been 1883 since that was last done.
Boy, what a cycle that is.
That's the year the Brooklyn Bridge was built and finished in 1883. So it's the first time that a hitter has hit for a cycle twice in 1 year since the building of the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's staggering. It really is a staggering fact.
It's unbelievable.
You know, that bridge is used to go over there and to go to some of the great steakhouses in the borough of Brooklyn. No plugs here. 3 balls and no strikes to Cabrera, and ball 4. And so Cabrera draws a walk. He's been on 3 times today with a pair of singles and a walk. 1 out walk will bring up Prince Fielder to the plate. Well, we're finding out stuff about the Minneapolis Millers, the AAA, and the Brooklyn Bridge. You have to go back to the days of the Brooklyn Bridge for, hitting for the cycle.
In fact, back in the 70s, there was a group called the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, there was.
And tonight with Earth, Wind, and Fire. By the way, only one of the elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire, is in this ballpark and not fully. The Earth is not fully, and only the infield.
No wind either.
The outfield, no wind and no fire. Yeah. So it's half the Earth, no wind, no fire.
So what's the point? I mean, really.
I don't know the point to that.
There should have been all 3 representative, Okay. Here's Fielder, who walked and drove in the run on the smash back to the mound that drove Hellickson from the game. It was in the 3rd inning. The bases were loaded, and Fielder with a shot off of the shin of Hellickson. The ball deflected to Pena, who stepped on the bag, but Austin Jackson scored. J.P. Howell came in and got the last out of the inning, and that's how the Tigers got their run. And for Fielder, his 52nd run batted in. He's ahead of the count now against Powell. Howell 2-0. Wade Davis has been warming up, and he would be ready. The longest that Howell has worked this year is 2 1/3 innings. If he gets out of this inning, it will be 2 1/3. Which matches his longest stint. There's a breaking ball for the strike, and it's 2-1.
I think Wade Davis is warming up for Delman Young, who's on deck, the right-handed batter. So this is probably J.P. Howell's last hitter.
Barring a double play, and well, it is. That would be his last hitter.
One way or the other.
Yeah. Infield way around to the right. And going the opposite way is Fielder, and that is going to be caught by Jennings. And going back to first base is Cabrera. So the infield was shifted around to the right, but not the outfield so much as Madden comes out, and you're right. That was the last hitter, and Delman Young will have to face Wade Davis now. So Jennings was placed perfectly in the outfield, went to his right, made the catch. So the new pitcher, Wade Davis, will come in the game.
We began with the RX. Then we turned the page, creating the RX Hybrid. Now we've turned the page again with the all-new RX F-Sport. This is the next chapter for the RX. This is the next chapter for Lexus. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Hanging out with Cal has its benefits. So does taking one-a-day meds.
Go to stayinthegame.com to enter for a chance to meet me and watch the 2013 MLB All-Star Game.
Starting this Friday and all weekend long, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Burger King.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
I'm a Major League Baseball all-star.
I didn't get here by chance. I didn't take the road of easy or the path of the painless. I worked hard to take this field.
For my team,
For my league. Some call it an all-star break.
it's not a break.
It's not a break, but we play on. Because the battle for the postseason begins now. I play for the American League.
Juego para la Liga Americana.
I play for the National League. I will win. I will win. I will win. The road to October starts here.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
I did a little dancing too, but they're reluctant to show that because that'll put disco out of business, even in a retro aspect. So Wade Davis, the new pitcher, facing Delman Young. And the first pitch, ball one. Delman Young has had success against Wade Davis, 4 for 13, and that's a 3.08 average. You still got the moves, Mr. McCarver?
Well, they come a little slower now. That's the biggest difference between now and the 70s.
Cabrera, the runner at first with 2 out, and Young fouls off the fastball. Reached on a fielder's choice and fly to right. Tigers clean to the 1-0 lead, and there is Cabrera on at first base. Talk about the All-Star game that you're going to be doing with Joe Buck and the great Fox production team in Kansas City. Cabrera, centerpiece there. Good slider. And the count now is 1-2 to Delman Young.
Good breaking ball from Davis. Rick Vaughn, who is the publicity director of the Rays, does such a good job. And he tells us that Wade Davis has retired of the 22 first batters in an inning. He's retired 17. Make that 18.
Elliott Johnson gets the force, and that'll do it in the 5th inning. Tigers lead 1 and lead 1-0 as Porcello giving up only 1 hit.
Just $1.04 this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Burger King.
Tonight's game, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. Rays batting in the 5th inning. Ben Zobrist will lead off, then Brooks Conrad and Jose Lobaton. The only base runner against Porcello.
He's been brilliant thus far through the first 4.
He is retired the side in order in 3 of the first 4 innings. Zobrist fly to Jackson in center field, his first time. And that's down low, ball 1. So here's the 23-year-old Porcello, who has a lot of experience. Hellickson, the 25-year-old, coming off Rookie of the Year honors. Strike 1-1.
We, by the way, have no word on Jeremy Hellickson thus far.
And
but you do.
Just handed
a card.
Yes, that Hellickson suffered a bruised right shin, and X-rays are negative, which is great news.
That's great news.
Just this moment, I was handed this as Zobrist, just in time, retired by Prince Fielder. He just beat Zobrist to the bag, and there's 1 out here in the 5th inning, and Brooks Conrad coming to the plate. Conrad grounded to third his first time up.
So great news that the X-rays
Oh, yeah.
on the shot to the shin were negative. So Conrad, who had 4 runs batted in the second half of the doubleheader last Sunday against the Phillies, matched his career high. And all the Rays would like to see him get one right here and to tie the game.
Funny, Dick, the only RBI driven in by the Tigers drove Hellickson out of the game, and that was by Prince Fielder with the bases loaded and 1 out.
1-1 now to Conrad. There's the fielder with a new club after his years with the Brewers. And the leading vote getter going into the final results, which will be announced tomorrow. Talking to Jim Leland, he talked about how managing was such a great honor in an all-star game, but that it's a
tough,
difficult assignment.
Yeah, what a tough job Tony La Russa has. Maybe his last time in uniform, and one would probably think that that's the case. He'll be managing, of course, the National League, as the St. Louis Cardinals were world champions last year. What a ride.
And what's great is that he's named his coaches, but also has invited his coaches from the Cardinals from last year.
That's true. Dave McKay, who's now first base coach for Chicago, the Chicago Cubs.
Joe Patini, who's the bench coach for the Astros.
Yeah, right.
And was the bench coach for so many years for Tony La Russa. And what a distinguished managerial career for Jim Leland, who's tops in victories among active managers now with Tony La Russa retiring.
And I talked to him today, in fact. Good breaking ball from Porcello.
And for Porcello, that would be his 3rd strikeout of the game. 2 gone here in the 5th inning.
Boy, that slider just disappears inside. But anyway, we asked Jim Leland if he had talked to, you asked him if we'd talked to Tony La Russa, as you get an idea of how tough that slider was.
Today he talked to him.
He said, yeah, we talked to today. And
very important conversation. Lobaton is the batter. Fly to right field and a slow ground ball hit to Santiago, a 1-2-3 inning. Anyway, Tony La Russa was able to get Jim Leland's daughter tickets to Kenny Chesney in Pittsburgh tonight.
That's
La
right.
Russa still getting it done.
When you wait
If you call yourself a sports fan, tonight's game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Alex Avila 0 for 2, facing Wade Davis in the Tigers' 6th. It'll be Avila, Bosch, and Peralta, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Joaquin Benoit throwing in the Tiger bullpen, something that has become common from the 5th inning on for Tiger games.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons Jim Leland has boosted all-star potential voting for middle relievers, saying that it's so important now. He wishes that it wasn't as important as it is, because if that were the case, then more starters would be working into the 6th, 7th, or 8th innings instead of trying to get through 5.
Those aren't the glory roles. You got the closers and the starters, and the guys that get lost sometime are the setup men and the middle inning guys that keep you in a game. 2-0 pitch, check swing on a fastball, and now Davis falls behind the leadoff hitter 3-0.
And because of the scarcity of the deep pitch counts, then the middle relievers become more and more important for baseball.
Tigers leading 1-0. And Avila walks to start the 6th inning. All-Star Game festivities begin tomorrow with the selection show on TBS. Then on July 9th, don't miss the Home Run Derby on ESPN. And on Tuesday the 10th, see the players arrive on the Red Carpet Show on MLB Network, followed by the 2012 All-Star Game here on Fox at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. It's the best All-Star Game of any sport.
Oh, yeah.
And always has been.
Yeah, it really is.
Brennan Bosch has hit the ball on the ground twice. Strike 1.
Who do you think is going to start? I think that's one of the more compelling things. I mean, when you look at the list of possible starters for both leagues.
You have an opinion?
I do. I think it's going to be R.A. Dickey. My two choices would be, and this has nothing to do, I'm not talking about the ineffectiveness of anybody else, but just that these guys deserve it, and it's only my opinion. R.A. Dickey for the Mets and Chris Sale of the Chicago White Sox. I mean, this Sale leads the American League in earned run average, 2.27. And Dickey, with 8 shutout innings against the Dodgers last night, has been nothing short of remarkable. Turns 38 on October 29th. And to have done the job that he has done late in his life is just a great, great story.
Ground ball to the left side under the glove of Conrad, and they get the force at second. Good play by Elliott Johnson. Rhymes covering second as Avila went in hard. And they get the force out. Well, 1966 All-Star Game flashback. Sandy Koufax at the new Bush Memorial Stadium. Tim McCarver replaced the Braves' Joe Torre at catcher, top of the 8th, and finished 1 for 1. The National League won the game in the bottom of the 10th when Maury Will single off Pete Rickard scored, my partner, from second base with the win. A hot day that I remember watching that game.
It was
Great
about
thrill.
as insufferable an afternoon as I've ever spent on it, as I ever, not that I'm going to spend that many more, unless I go down with a suit and tie. But I mean, it was just, I mean, Casey Stengel made the remark after the game. They asked him about the new stadium. And Casey said, well, it holds the heat well. And he was right, it did.
There's a breaking ball to Peralta.
But the one thing that I remember about that All-Star Game is after the winning run, I mean, I'm congratulated by Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Roberto Clemente, Henry Aaron, Walter Alston, Harry Walker. I mean, you talk about a humbling experience. It really was.
In your home field, in your hometown. I mean, that was tremendous.
I remember going into the trainer's room. Koufax started the game. He went 3 innings. Koufax had this stuff called capsulin. It was stuff that it was so hot, we would mix it with Vaseline to cool it off. He had it from his wrist through the shoulders all the way down to the lower back.
Ball getting away, no advance.
All the way down to the lower back. And I said, Sandy, is that full strength? He said, yes, I have to use it full strength because of my elbow. And I thought at the time, he's finished. He's probably through. And at the end of that season, after winning 27 games this last year, he retired at the age of 30.
That was the year the Orioles beat the Dodgers in 4 straight. And the Dodgers got 2 runs early in the game in game 1 and then didn't score the rest of the game, lost 5-2, and then were shut out 3 straight games. And the Orioles won the World Series, and that was the end. Sandy Koufax did hang it up, so you saw the beginning of the end, so to speak, as Peralta swings and misses on a pitch inside, and the count 1-2.
Good fastball inside off the plate to Peralta. But Sandy Koufax, during those, Tom Brookins, the first base coach. But Sandy Koufax, for that 6-year period, from 61 to 66, the greatest 6 years of any pitcher in the history of the game.
Devastating.
Not arguable.
Devastating. When he took the mound.
And keep in mind, they only gave 1 Cy Young Award. And Sandy Koufax won 3 Cy Young Awards in days where they gave only 1 for both leagues.
And I know there are a lot of young fans watching the game, and they say, I don't remember Sandy Koufax. If you get a chance to get online somehow and get to see, you know, the things he had accomplished, and maybe even on a YouTube.
Anything, any way you want to bring up Sandy Koufax, that's why he is referred to as baseball royalty.
And then you can also see Tim McCarver in action when he played for the Cardinals. And then watch the All-Star game, and you can see why Tim McCarver is going to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, winning the Ford Frick Award as the broadcaster. And, you know, I'm especially proud knowing you as long as I have to say it again and again. Here is the 2-2 pitch, and Peralta strikes out for the second out. Remaining at first base is Bosch. And Ramon Santiago coming up.
Well, you think about that at bat. Peralta swung at the fastball in off the plate, and now the high slider away off the plate. So there are some good at bats where hitters get bad results. That was not a good at bat by Peralta.
Santiago singled to center his last time up, 1 for 2. Tigers have out-hit the Rays 6-1. Snap throw to first, and getting back is Bosch. But you're right, Tim. The hardest hit ball of the game was Fielder's shot back off of Hellickson's shin, and scoring the only run of the game on was a putout, 1-3, as off of the deflection. Pena stepped on the bag and the run scored. That's been the hardest hit ball of the game. 2 down, runner at first base, and a curve on the outside corner.
And when you think about the Rays have not hit a ball hard all night. They have 1 hit, that was a bunt base hit. But if you're making loud outs through 5 innings, even though you may have been shut out, if it's tight, you know you're going to get the starting pitcher. The Rays haven't come close to Porcello yet.
One and 2 now to Santiago. Wade Davis, the third pitcher of the night for the Rays. Jeremy Hellickson worked 2 1/3, gave up a run on 4 hits. J.P. Howell came in and in 2 innings gave up 2 hits and did a pretty good job on short notice, so to speak, to prevent further damage. 2 out, Bosch with the lead at first. The 1-2 pitch to Santiago, and he strikes out. Way behind that fastball by Davis. So 2 strikeouts in succession by Davis. And we go to the last of the 6. A heater, 1-0.
How do you know it's summertime? Well, I'm flipping burgers and talking about the Ford Summer Sales event.
Oh, wow.
This would definitely be the car I would want to get.
Like the Fusion?
We love the Fusion.
Mileage matters?
Absolutely.
Up to 33 miles per gallon. The sync system. You can take all the music and put it into the hard drive.
You just got a glimpse at some 21st century technology and he's flipping out.
Don't miss the Ford Summer Sales Event. Get a Fusion with 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,750 cash back. Now at your local Ford dealer.
Serving up Fords with everything on them.
The radical new MacBook Pro with Retina display. Innovation in every dimension.
Starting this Friday and all weekend long, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Burger King.
I'm a Major League Baseball all-star.
I didn't get here by chance. I didn't take the road of easy or the path of the painless. I worked hard to take this field.
For my team.
For my league. Some call it an all-star break.
It's not a break.
It's not a break, but we play on. Because the battle for the postseason begins now. I play for the American League. Juego para la Liga Americana. I play for the National League. I will win. I will win. I will win. The road to October starts here.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
Other games on this baseball night in America include the A's and Rangers. A 96-degree day in Arlington. Josh Hamilton's heating up to his 3rd home run in his last 6 games. Has Texas halfway home to their 5th straight win. Arizona and Milwaukee, a 2011 postseason rematch. Not a good day for Wade Miley. Ryan Braun's 2nd home run of the night, making it 8-0 Brewers. As we get you back out to Dick and Tim in St. Pete.
All right, Matt Vasgersian, thank you very much. And Ryan Braun's numbers exceeding what he has done and having a terrific year with outfielder behind him. And Elliott Johnson leading off against Rick Porcello has the only hit against Porcello, a perfectly executed bunt single back in the 3rd inning, takes strike 1. Kyle Farnsworth, who, as Tim mentioned at the outset, one of 3 pitchers coming off the DL today, is warming up in the bullpen. Joel Peralta, who is serving an 8-game suspension. Farnsworth, who has been on the DL, and the starter, Jeremy Hellickson, all coming off the DL. According to the latest report on Hellickson, X-rays were negative, suffering a bruised right shin on fielder's smash back to the mound. And that's accounted for the only Tiger run and the only run in the game. 1-2 to Johnson.
And Dick, we talked to Evan Longoria earlier. I think the 2 most devastating injuries for a National League team and American League team this year, Longoria for the Tampa Bay Rays and Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. And Matt Kemp still leads center fielders in the National League in voting. So I think the Dodgers are going to play it very coy and not allow Kemp to go to the All-Star game, and certainly everybody understands. I mean, 2 surprises for me are Carlos Beltran and Rafael Furcal. 2 guys that didn't come up through the Cardinal system, but Beltran signing as a free agent, and Furcal coming from nowhere to have a terrific year for St. Louis.
And I think it shows how astute the baseball fans are today.
And particularly in a traditional town like St. Louis.
Johnson's retired on a grounder to Santiago, and here's Will Rhymes.
American League, on the other hand, Josh Hamilton with another home run
leading
tonight.
vote getter, right?
Yeah, leading vote getter by far. Over 7 million votes.
Here is Rhymes as he takes ball 1. Looking at the American League leading vote getters before they decide tomorrow, and you're right, 7,300,000 plus.
Man.
2-0 now to Rhymes. The closest the Rays have come to tying this game happened in the 3rd inning after that great bunt single by Elliott Johnson. Rhymes got a piece of a ground ball at shortstop on Johnson running on the play and kept running and went to 3rd base before Porcello got Jennings on a pop-up to the infield to end the threat. as Tampa Bay left a runner at third. 2-1 to Rhymes, and on deck the top of the order is Desmond Jennings. 2-2. Porcello has had 7 ground outs, 6 balls hit in the air, and has struck out 3. And the only base runner was Johnson with the bunt single. Into center field, and it's a base hit. Will Rhymes with a 1-out single, the second hit of the game for the Rays off of Porcello, and that'll bring up the top of the order Desmond Jennings.
High fastball, one of the few poor pitches that Porcello has made tonight. Not every base hit is a poor pitch, but that one was.
So Rhymes on at first base, and Jennings, who struck out and popped up. Ball inside, 1-0. So the 2 hits for the Rays have come from their number 8 and number 9 hitters. Carlos Pena on deck. Ground ball, base hit to left field by Jennings. Rhymes will stop at second as Berry gets the ball back in. So back-to-back singles with 1 out here in the 6th inning. And the Rays have the tying run at second base. Go-ahead run at first with Carlos Pena stepping in.
First time in tonight's game that the Rays have had a chance to score. Jennings with a base hit. We talked about his 2 home runs, a nice catch in last night's game. The only run scored in this game thus far, the RBI fielder's choice by Prince Fielder.
Porcello's numbers right now, and the Rays for the first time have 2 runners on base in the same inning. And Carlos Pena, who has struck out and flied out to the opposite field, left field. And Pena now 3 for 27 since a booming 3-run homer against the Phillies last Sunday. Showing bunt.
Forget about that.
That's
not going to happen.
And puts it in play. Porcello slips. Everybody's safe.
Swinging bunts we didn't discount.
You're right. Porcello slipped. Thought he was going to get to the ball to make the play, but he couldn't, and the bases are loaded.
That ball had some backspin on it that took it back to home plate. I think that's why Alex Avila, who was going to field it, waved off by Porcello, and the ball spun backwards toward home plate again, and no play on Pena. And that loads the bases.
So golfers know when a ball checks up, when you chip it onto a green, that ball checked up on Avila and Porcello, and now Jeff Jones out to the mound, and a conference with all of the Tiger infielders. The bases are loaded with 1 out. So Rhymes is at third, representing the tying run. Jennings at second, representing the go-ahead run, and Pena on at first, breaking what has been a long drought, but he'll take it.
Earth, no wind, and no fire.
No. And B.J. Upton coming to the plate. 3 hits against Porcello. 1 a bunt, 1 a swinging bunt. And Rhymes to start the inning. Not especially well hit. So here's Upton 0 for 2. Tigers lead 1-0. And off the fist, a pop-up going back as Peralta makes the catch for out number 1. So Upton, or out number 2, we should say, 2 down, as Upton pops up to short left field of Peralta, and that'll bring up the DH Luke Scott.
Now once again, Porcello making a pitch when he had to, in off the plate to Upton. Tying him up, he can't drive the ball. Infield fly rule was in effect. Upton's out. And that was the best chance thus far that the Rays have had to score, because they could have scored a run on an out with Upton's speed.
Luke Scott grounded to Santiago at second and fouled out to Avila, the catcher. So the bases remain loaded. Now 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and a slow hit bounding ball, and the play to first base in time. Santiago to fielder, and Porcello pitches out of it with the bases loaded and 1 out, gets Upton and the cleanup hitter Scott. And the Rays don't score, and it remains 1-0 Tigers as we go to the 7th.
The 2012 MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
State Farm let me bundle auto, home, and life to save money.
Sure, we practically invented bundling, and it all stays with State Farm.
So my policies don't go to some bundling center that ships them off to some B-grade bundle factory. If anything happens, I'm dealing with you and not some bungling, bustling bundle builders.
Who have you been working with?
A policy with us stays with us. Bundle and save with State Farm.
This Independence Day, get a total value of $7,500 when you trade up to Sierra with Extended Cab SLE Value Package. With an available 5.3-liter V8 engine with active fuel management, no competitor has better V8 fuel efficiency. Not Ram, not Ford. Celebrate Independence Day with $500 cash back for a total value of $6,500 on Sierra with Extended Cab SLE Value Package. Or trade up to get a total value of $7,500. GMC. Why just trade in when you can trade up?
Find hot deals during the Menards Summer Sale. Finish outdoor projects with Flood CWF UV Exterior Wood Finish. It penetrates deep and seals out moisture. In 4 colors, save $5 per gallon. That's $25 on 5-gallon pails. Update your look with Patriot Lighting. The 6-piece Mavis collection features an oil-brushed bronze finish and etched champagne glass. The semi-flush ceiling light is $58. The 5-light chandelier is $129.
Save big money at Menards.
Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Menards.
Fox Baseball Night in America is presented by Budweiser. And Kyle Farnsworth, activated today from the DL, suffered a strained elbow in spring training. Was on the 60-day DL when he was activated, started the season with that right elbow strain, suffered in spring training, and now will be facing the top of the order, Austin Jackson. And he's got to be delighted he's back. He had been the closer for the Rays.
25 saves last year. Best year that he's had in his major league career.
But Fernando Rodney will maintain that role for Joe Madden.
Right. Speaking of all-stars, Fernando Rodney should be on the team. He's been that good.
0-1 to Jackson. Fouled at the plate. Jackson has sandwiched 2 strikeouts around a single, and he scored the only run of the game when he crossed the plate on fielder's smash back to Hellickson. Tigers leading 1-0, batting here in the 7th inning. They've lost 5 of their last 8. And strikes out Jackson. 3rd time tonight that Jackson has struck out. He struck out 181 times last year, and the 2nd most in Tiger history, and seemed to cut out a lot of that this year.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better in that department. In every department, Jim Leland says he's a much better defensive player and base runner.
And you know, is worthy of all-star consideration in his own right.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Quentin Berry, 1 for 3 with a single. Respect his ability to bunt. Didn't show it there and takes ball 1. Missing outside, 2-0 now to Berry with Miguel Cabrera on deck, and talking about the Rays getting back some much needed strength both on the mound and at the plate.
Luke Scott on Thursday night, and then the three pitchers, even though Jeremy Hellickson was hit hard, the only RBI of the game, the ball hit by Prince Fielder with the bases loaded. Prince was an out at first base, and Hellickson left the game. He's fine. It's a bruise, we understand, and no break.
And the X-rays were negative. Fastball and a strike, 3-1. This is a turn back the clock game, and these are hypothetical uniforms that the Tampa Bay Rays, of course, were not in existence back in the disco days. Did he go around? No. Ball 4, and Berry draws a 1-out walk. Our only score of the game. There's the shot you mentioned. Fielder off of the shin of Hellickson. Now you see it was deflected to Pena, made the play at first, but Jackson scored, and that's been the story offensively today. Hellickson tried to throw a couple of pitches and had to come out of the game.
Obviously, Hellickson with that injury, and that's not a good thing for the Rays. But as far as this game is concerned, that ball could have trickled into right field and had a big inning.
Cabrera has been part of many big innings, and he's been on base 3 times tonight with a pair of singles and a walk. Diving back was Berry. Berry, with 12 stolen bases on the year, has not been caught. And the Tigers are looking for an insurance run here in the 7th inning. And they got a good base runner with 1 out, and Cabrera and Fielder on deck.
As you said, Berry has not been caught. 12 steals. You're not looking at a guy who's going to take a pitch, however, and give him a chance to run in Cabrera.
You know, it's looked like he's been leaning to second on the last 2 times throwing over.
I think I'm of the belief if I were as good a hitter as Cabrera, I would, have some sign with him to hold him up and let me hit if I'm Cabrera. One of the premier hitters in the game.
And a line drive, base hit to left field. So Cabrera knows of where he thinks, and that is, let me swing the bat. I'll get him to second base, and he does, his 3rd hit of the game.
We heard Evan Longoria earlier talk about Miguel Cabrera and about what an unselfish hitter he is. He made his mark in the 2003 World Series against Roger Clemens in Game 4. That series won by the Florida Marlins. If you remember, Clemens knocked him down, and then he hit a home run on the next pitch to right field. At the time, he was 21 years old.
And a different looking Miguel Cabrera, we might add.
A svelte Cabrera in those days.
Prince Fielder with an opportunity here. Runners at first and second, and 1 out. Fielder with an RBI on that smash back to the mound that resulted in an out. His 52nd RBI is also walked. Here's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Roger Clemens knocking Cabrera down. You could see that look back at Clemens, 2003 World Series. Next pitch, home run, right field. That made his mark as a major league hitter right there. A world of talent, but he's tough to go along with it.
Great offensive force in the game of baseball. Here's Fielder with the count, 1 strike. Fouls back a fastball right on that pitch from Farnsworth. And now the count, 2 strikes to Prince Fielder. Berry drew the walk with 1 out against Farnsworth, the 4th pitcher for the Rays. And then Cabrera lined a single to left field. Cabrera, by the way, what a series he's having against the Rays, 7 for 11.
American League hit leader last year, and he's not through winning titles.
Fielder checks a swing, and it's 1-2. Prince Fielder, who went to high school not very far from here in Melbourne, Florida.
Across the state.
And his 212 home runs since the start of '07, still the most of anyone in the big leagues. Berry at second, Cabrera at first, 1 out. Tigers batting in the 7th. Swing and a miss, and a terrific pitch in tight. The fielder went for it. 2 out.
Sometimes it's hard to tell that tightly wrapped breaking ball or splitter from Farnsworth. I think this is a splitter, but did it go down? Oh my goodness. Disappeared on Prince. Excellent location with 2 strikes to fielder.
So Delman Young with the 2 out and 2 on, 0 for 3. So Farnsworth, who has been well traveled, and Rays being the 6th team he's been with, by the way, also had 2 stints with the Tigers back in 05 and 08. Starts off with the breaking pitch to Young.
Kyle Farnsworth is the type of pitcher, when he gets an injury, you can understand it. And the reason is he is so strong. He's one of the strongest guys in the major leagues. He can bench press more than, my understanding is, more than anybody. And players marvel at him. And I'm not sure that Kyle or anybody in the major leagues gives the appropriate amount of stretching along with that lifting. And in baseball, when you think about it, it's an injury waiting to happen. If you're an outfielder, you go from a standstill, you don't receive a ball maybe for 6 innings, boom, you've got to make a play, a hamstring pops on you. I do not believe that major league players stretch like they should. I mean, if you look at major league teams that have stretching drills, and if you're out for batting practice and you're a fan, you can see that. I mean, it's like recess at a nursery school.
Not all of them do it.
No, but in football, you have told me, and the guys in the truck have told me, that these guys stretch continuously.
Basketball, too.
Every day, and basketball, too. When's the last time you've heard of a hamstring pull in basketball? Not too often. Maybe other injuries.
Especially in a stop-and-start sport like baseball.
Yeah, stop and start. Baseball is an injury waiting to happen sport.
2-1 with 2 out to Delman Young. 2 runners on for the Tigers, and there's a fly ball. Starting back was Upton, now coming in, is there to make the play, and Farnsworth pitches out of a jam. 1 hit, Tigers lead 2. Rays coming up, it's the home 7th. Detroit 1-0.
This is the plan that revolves around you. Introducing Share Everything. Unlimited talk, unlimited text, and a single pool of shareable data that powers up to 10 devices. The first plan of its kind. Share Everything. Only from Verizon.
Sometimes circles just make sense. Most knee replacements follow an oval motion. The Get Around knee from Stryker is designed to replace the knee's naturally circular motion. Don't just replace your knee, replace the way your knee moves. All surgery has risks. Recovery takes time and individual results vary. The lifetime of any device is limited and depends on several factors like weight and activity level. Ask your doctor if the Get Around knee is right for you.
Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
There's a stain and sealant in one that waterproofs, protects, and beautifies with every single stroke. We call it Olympic Maximum. You'll call it the ultimate multitasker. Insist on Olympic. Available at Lowe's and other fine retailers.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Tonight's game, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by Share Everything. It's the plan that revolves around you, only from Verizon. The Don Zimmer doll.
Zimbear.
Great to see Don Zimmer, who's been close to both of us. You, of course, have known him longer than I have, and Don Zimmer has lost a lot of weight, and you won't find a more enthusiastic soul than Don Zimmer, who you saw last night. We saw him again in Joe
Forever
Madden's
young.
office.
He is a national treasure that was visited, by the way, by Jim Leland yesterday.
Yes. Ben Zobrist leading off.
Pardon me, for an hour. Jim Leland went to see Zim. And they visited. Very, very close friends.
Zobrist is 0 for 2, flied out and bounced to Fielder, who made the play unassisted. Call strike, and it's 2-1. Porcello started this inning having thrown 76 pitches. His longest stint this year was 8 innings on May the 1st, beating the Royals 9-3, gone 7 innings in 2 other occasions. 2-1 pitch lifted in the air, and Austin Jackson, plenty of time and low room, makes the play, and there's 1 out. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Padres and Rockies, Dick and Tim, you're going to love this. Since switch hitting splits were first compiled in 1974, no player's first 2 major league hits had been home runs from each side of the plate until today. San Diego's Yasmani Grandal with a little baseball history in Denver. Back to Dick and Tim in St. Pete.
How about that from Matt? Does
this have anything to do with the Brooklyn Bridge?
Matt was saying earlier that it was 96 in Texas today. And
that's cool.
The Tigers have to be thinking 96 when they were there. The highest temperature, they just came from Texas, middle of the week. Highest temperature was 106. The other 2 days, 102. So they're playing in 72 degrees of comfortable Tropicana, the best St. Pete has to offer.
Yeah, 96 is delightful in Texas at this time of year. As Brooks Conrad is at the plate. 0 for 2 tonight, and the count 1-1 to him with 1 out in the 7th inning. Jose Lobaton is on deck. There's a call strike, 1-2 now to Conrad.
Boy, Porcello has just been a clinic out there tonight. A little bit off, inside, outside, occasional breaking ball, changes speeds, works fast. Everything pitching coaches love.
Joel Peralta, who came off the DL today along with Farnsworth and Hellickson, started to throw last inning, and he's up again in the Rays bullpen now. There is Peralta coming off the 8-game suspension after being found with pine tar in his glove. More on that in a while. Here's the 1-2 pitch inside. And that was interesting. That was on June the 19th in Washington.
Thought it was very interesting, some of the comments Davey Johnson had about Joe Madden. And some real anger between those 2 combative guys.
Strike 3, and Conrad goes down, 2 out. 4th strikeout for Porcello. And that'll bring up Lobaton.
Like a cut fastball then from Porcello inside, and again the Rays have 1 ball that was hit well. That was Desmond Jennings' left field hit. And you got to taking you back to the 70s.
Yeah,
I guess we're doing it literally.
Yeah, a fan has run onto the field and says, okay, I went as far as I could to the right center field wall. And what is the prescribed comment to say? Some selfish guy has held up the baseball game for these fans.
Yeah, that's right.
But
one guy who missed the concert tonight.
That's right. That's right. You won't see it. Well, the stars align for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best of the American League take on the National League's top players. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. So Porcello is trying to win his 6th game against 5 setbacks, facing Lobaton with 2 out, nobody on base. Lobaton has flied out and bounced to second. Take strike 1. Phil Koch and Brian Villarreal warming up for the Tigers. Chop to Fielder, and he flips to Porcello, who has retired the Rays in order in 5 of the 7 innings he's pitched. We go to the 8th. Slim 1-0 lead. Porcello has been brilliant.
When we got married,
I had 3 kids, and she became the full-time mother of 3.
it was soccer and ballet and cheerleading and baseball. Those years were crazy. So as we go into this next phase, you know, a big part of it for us is that there isn't anything on the schedule.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed, just a bit of a break from the norm.
Welcome to summer with Bud Light Lime. It's everything you love about Bud Light, with a twist of 100% natural lime flavor for ultimate refreshment. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling.
To hit you and to get you quick for the summertime.
This is Mike. Mike's being healthy and chewing like a man. Introducing One-A-Day Vitacraves for Men. It's a gummy multivitamin with more vitamin B to convert food to energy and help Mike do manly things like wrestle bears and take out the garbage. New One-A-Day Vitacraves for Men.
Starting this Friday and all weekend long, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only at Burger King.
What we created here, what we achieved here, what we learned here, and what we pioneered here, all goes here. The One, the Accord, smarter thinking from Honda.
Get live look-ins and highlights of every game on the show that brings it all into focus.
This season, don't miss a moment.
Watch MLB Tonight. For schedule and channel number, go to MLBnetwork.com.
Well, Joel Peralta coming in the game and looking in the Tiger dugout and answering some of the comments. He was found with pine tar on his glove, suspended for 8 games and coming back tonight.
It looks playful. Of course, an 8-day suspension is not considered playful for anyone. And that was his suspension, as Dick said, a week before last night. 8-day suspension, first day back. And you can bet there's no pine tar in the glove.
Yeah, but I didn't see any smile on his face when he was...
Well, not until the end.
Yeah.
So I think somebody was on him pretty hard in the Tiger dugout, and then there was comic relief.
Alex Avila, 1-0 to Avila, who walked his last time, 0 for 2 officially. And Peralta suffering the loss 2 nights later while appealing his suspension. This is his second year with the Rays. Lefties have only hit 170 against him. And there's a strike, 1-1 to Avila. And another lefty, Brennan Bosch, is on deck. Here in the 8th inning, the Tigers leading 1-0. White Sox lost, leading the AL Central, but the Indians were victorious over the Orioles today. So the Tigers can pick up a game on the White Sox. Avila swings and misses. Well, now it's time for Just for Men Auto Stop Foolproof Stat. And just as the Detroit Tigers can count on Alex Avila, and you can see they can with most RBIs by a catcher since 11, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results.
The rule, by the way, concerning Peralta is 802 in the rule book. It says no foreign substance can be used on the ball other than the one provided by the league. Good splitter from Peralta.
Avila strikes out.
I think 8 days is too harsh, number one. Good splitter right here. And also, in fairness to Joel, there are an awful lot of pitchers that use it in the major leagues and aren't detected. A lot of pitchers.
In your day?
A lot of pitchers, yes.
Brennan Bosch 0 for 3.
They went from, in fact, Bob Moose of the Pirates blatantly used it. I mean, he'd start the season in spring training. He couldn't shake hands with anybody until November. If he did, he'd take them home with him. I mean, that's how sticky his hands were. We used to kid about that all the time, but it was a fact. I mean, his ball moved all over the place.
It's hilarious. 1-0. And Bosch fouls it off, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, here's how it all happened. Boy, Joe Madden was livid, huh?
He was. And that was Joe's point, that, and I understand the point, and he was mad at Davey Johnson, who, interestingly, I mean, all Davey was doing was going by the rule book. And the next game, I think Joe Madden did the same thing to Steven Strasburg, right?
Right. 1-1. Laid off the pitch and did not go around as they checked with Bob Davidson at third.
I don't think, Dick, that it's much ado about nothing, but does pine tar, I think what baseball has to determine, and I'm not too sure, now that's pine tar for the bat, but does pine tar unfairly direct a pitch from a pitcher that rosin doesn't do? And I'm not too sure I've ever heard that question asked by Major League Baseball and those that make the rule.
Deep to left center field, and it's going to be off the wall, and Bosch gets into second with a double. So Brennan Bosch, who had only 6 hits since June the 13th when he had a 4-hit game against the Cubs, gets a 1-out double here in the 8th.
Brennan hit a pretty good pitch on the outside corner, driving the ball a long way to left center field. Almost caught by Jennings, but he ran out of room.
So we've had 12 hits in the game, and this is the first extra base hit of the contest as Johnny Peralta comes up. And once again, the Tigers in position to get an insurance run here in the 8th inning. Bosch in scoring position at second with 1 out. Peralta has a hit tonight, 1 for 3. So Peralta facing Peralta here in the 8th inning of a 1-0 game. On the corner, strike.
Dick, to sum that up, I guess, I mean, rosin, particularly when it's mixed with sweat and dirt, can do almost the same thing as pine tar. And I think that's the key. Almost, not quite what pine tar can do. It's not the leverage, it's not quite as sticky, but almost. And I think the rule should be more clearly stated. Because really it's between rosin and pine tar. It's baseball's view right now that pine tar causes an unfair advantage by a pitcher to a hitter, and that doesn't, and that is rosin. I'm not too sure it's distinguishable in baseball terms.
What about as a batter?
From a batter, it doesn't matter. I mean, you remember the pine tar incident with George Brett, but that's out now. You can have pine tar to the end of the bat. They don't care anymore. But from a batter, you're using it in your hands to hit a ball. You're not touching the baseball. In pitching, you're touching the baseball with pine tar or rosin, and I mean, really, if you want to apply common sense, why would a pitcher even take a chance if it didn't meet his desired results?
He doesn't have to put it in there.
No,
so he must think it's going to help him.
That's right.
2 balls and a strike to Peralta, who's 2 for 14 against Joel Peralta in his career. 1 out. Bosch is at second base. And there's the splitter by Joel Peralta and the count. And he's got that label on that shirt.
Yeah, this is a pitch where it can help the direction of the ball. That ball going straight down, and Peralta's got one of the great splitters in the American League. But with that said, I don't think Joel would risk it again to come out with pine tar in his glove.
Not this appearance.
No, no. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, but not now.
Bosch with the lead, the 2-2 pitch, and Johnny Peralta strikes out for the second out. So Joel Peralta has a couple of strikeouts. Bosch with the double. And now Ramon Santiago, who is 1 for 3 with a single.
A disappearing splitter again. Joe Madden saying that it's one of the best splitters in the American League. Might be the best for a bullpen, for a guy out of the bullpen, particularly a middle reliever.
Santiago, the number 9 hitter. Tigers looking for that insurance run, leading 1-0 in the 8th inning. The first pitch to Ramon Santiago is a strike. Been with the Tigers since 2002, except for a couple of years with the Seattle Mariners. And actually, he became the senior member of this ball club when Brandon Inge was waived. One ball, 1 strike. On deck, top of the order, Austin Jackson. But there are 2 out. Bosch is at second. Joaquin Benoit has been warming up in the bullpen. See, the Tigers have left a load on base in Thursday night series opener. And again tonight. Like 5 innings, they've left 2 men on base. Peralta's 1-1, and it's fouled off 1-2. Saturday, August 4th, the UFC returns to Fox with 4 massive fights, including knockout artist Hua taking on Brandon Vera in the biggest fight of his career, plus an epic bout between former UFC champ Lyoto Machida and rising star Ryan Bader. UFC Fight Night on Fox, sponsored by Bud Light, is live from Los Angeles Saturday, August 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I think we've finally found a sport where the athletes involved have a tougher job than catchers do.
That's right. Yeah, good point. Maybe Peralta could be a UFC fighter.
Well, it depends.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And it hits Santiago. He goes down, and he is shaken up.
Now trying to come inside with a fastball, and Ramon going down to first base. I mean, no intent there. One wouldn't think.
Well, you got the leadoff hitter,
yeah, you're not
Jackson coming up here.
Not even, no, yeah, you got a better hitter than Santiago. I mean, you're not going to hit Ramon.
Hit him square in the back, and Jim Leland is out of the dugout to check on Santiago. And Leland and the Tigers trainer satisfied, go back to the dugout. And Austin Jackson will come up with runners at first and second and 2 out. So Santiago appears to be all right, flexing his right arm. And here's Jackson, who is 1 for 4. Jackson with a single with 1 out in the 3rd inning and came around to score the only run of the game on Fielder's shot back to Hellickson. Bruised his shin, knocked him out of the game. Jackson scored a run, but he has struck out 3 other times. Curveball and a strike. Rays have used 5 pitchers in this game. Hellickson, of course, came out after pitching 2 1/3. Then J.P. Howell, Wade Davis, and Kyle Farnsworth followed. And now Joel Peralta. 3 of the 5 pitchers just came off the disabled list today. There's a shot deep to left field, way back and gone. 3-run homer by Austin Jackson, his 8th of the year. And the Tigers have big time breathing room now, leading 4-0. Austin Jackson now with 34 runs batted in and making a claim for an all-star berth as he homers off of Joel Peralta, and it's 4-0 Tigers here in the 8th inning.
Got a fastball in the middle of the plate and made Peralta pay.
Did he ever? 8th home run of the year for Austin Jackson.
Right over the All-Star game. All-Star game promo.
Would like to be in Kansas City.
Well, I think he might. Jim Leland's certainly making a case for it.
It was Quentin Berry. Bases are empty with 2 out, and the pitch outside, ball 1. So this crowd silenced now. 4-0 to score. The Tigers have out-hit the Rays 9-4 in the game. So the only 2 extra base hits of this game here in the 8th inning. The double by Bosch with 1 out, and Jackson's booming 3-run homer just moments ago.
That'll bring a smile to your face. Hit a ball that hard.
Well, Jim Leland just gushing in praise of Austin Jackson and saying how much better he will be than he is even right now. Ground ball hit to Will Rhymes, and that will do it, but the damage is done. Jackson with a 3-run homer, and the Tigers will take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 8th inning.
Still have doubts about taking aspirin for tough pain? Listen to what MVP Justin Verlander thinks about it.
I would say the source of...
Tonight's game, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of MLB, and by Samsung. The next big thing is here. Don Kelly replaces Brennan Bosch in right field for defensive purposes for the Tigers. And the new pitcher is Joaquin Benoit. 2nd year with the Tigers after refurbishing his career with the Rays 2 years ago with a impressive 1.34 earned run average. Elliott Johnson leading off, and we're going to have a pinch hitter to follow as Jeff Keppinger is in the on-deck circle and will bat for Will Rhymes. 4-0, the Tigers lead. Rays batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers won the series opener 5-2 Thursday. And then last night, the Rays won 4-2, beating Justin Verlander.
There have been 11 strikeouts in this game, 4 by Porcello, 7 by the Rays. And the guys on the truck have been working on something that you may have never seen before, you folks out there. If you're ever at a major league ball club, watch what a hitter does when they strike out on their way back to the dugout. They don't want to look in the dugout. So where do they look? If it's the third base dugout, they look into left center. If it's the first base dugout, they look into right center. They don't want to look in the dugout because they just struck out, right? So from a psychological standpoint, you understand that. They have to look someplace. They're not looking in the stands.
And you know, a lot
after
of times,
striking out.
You know, Tim, that's interesting. Sometimes you think they may be looking at the pitcher who just struck them out.
But
They're
they
not.
never do. No, if it's a third base dugout, they're looking to left center. If it's the first base dugout to which they're returning, they look to right center. And we're going to show you what we mean after the first batter.
Because you always see them looking out.
That's right.
And
They're
now,
looking out, but you really don't know where.
Right.
It's been my observation that I think that that's right.
Elliott Johnson with the count 1-2. And now the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it's almost something, Dick, that we can playfully call strikeout alley. Or the strikeout zone. Left center, right center. But it's amazing how many guys have done it in this game.
Or a no-look strikeout.
Or a no-look strikeout.
I'm not looking anywhere.
They can't. They've got to look to right center or left center. They've got to do that.
And you have an example of this.
We have more than one.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know
We're going to build our case.
You've been concocting something with the...
You think I'm a bad attorney?
No. I'd hire you anytime.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating to me that guys don't, they're disappointed in striking out. They don't want to look at the dugouts to which they're returning or the stands. So they don't want to look at the pitcher. So we'll show you.
Boy, P.T. Navarro, our producer, Michael Frank, our director, you've been cooking something up. Here's a pop-up and Avila going back, and it's out of play. Well, the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter for the Rays here in the 8th inning, Elliott Johnson.
You could even attach a musical ditty with this baby. This thing might be brought back.
Well, let's think of what
during the All-Star game.
What tune fits? We know Broadway. We've been talking about singing it. Right?
We do. Yes.
If there's no music, I may try to think of something. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is a worldly broadcast.
Oh, yes.
3 balls, 2 strike count, and a soft liner handled by Santiago for the first out. Keppinger's going to pinch it. Let's watch.
Here's our picture of what hitters do when they strike out. Left center field. Left center field. Left center field. Left center field. Right center field. Left center field. Left center field. They're all looking at strikeout alley in left center field.
How about on a clear day you can see forever?
That's good. That's good.
Here is Keppinger.
Well, I mean, it is fascinating to me though that nobody's ever brought this up.
Never.
I mean,
I've never seen it done.
Yeah. No, nor have I. I just think the guys.
You're going to do this in the All-Star game. I have a feeling.
Absolutely. And particularly there, they don't want to go back into a dugout of all-stars looking at them unless they're giving that phony laugh or something,
Jeff Keppinger hitting .327, 2 homers and 12 runs batted in with 1 out here in the Rays' 8th inning against Joaquin Benoit. Jose Valverde in the Tiger bullpen. Burt Badenhop in the Rays pen. Barcelo worked 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, struck out 4, didn't walk anyone, and threw 87 pitches through the 7 innings in a outstanding performance. So he struck out 4, and those 4 had to look elsewhere.
And Porcello was just terrific tonight.
In for the strike, 2-1. It was a bunt single by Elliott Johnson. There was a swinging bunt base hit by Carlos Pena. Rhymes got a base hit to center, and that wasn't especially a hard hit. Probably Desmond Jennings' single was the hardest hit.
I think so.
Count goes to 3-1 to Keppinger with Jennings on deck. Top of the order for the Rays. Hypothetical uniforms being worn. Throwback to 1979. And the headline said Rays go back to a time that never was. They weren't in existence back then. So they had to make this up. Shot to left field. It's deep. Going back. Looking up. Gone. Keppinger with a home run. And the first run of the game for the Rays. Breaking up the shutout. Keppinger's third home run of the year. His 13th run batted in. And it's a 4-1 game.
Dick, it looked like Jeff was looking for that fastball up and in. A lot of guys don't usually do that with the 2-strike count. It's too dangerous. He got all of that one with that unusual batting stance. Open stance, feet together. He uncoils. Hit that one a ton.
Keppinger came off the DL last Saturday against the Phillies and had a career-high 5 hits in his first game back. And there is the bunt by Jennings and the flip to first just in time. Crowd not happy with that call by first base umpire Mike Machinsky, but I think he got it right. And now Joe Madden coming out of the dugout to argue with Machinsky.
Well, you know, Benoit did not get to that ball quickly enough, and then he underhanded it. You can understand the underhand throw. First base umpire Mike Malinsky. There's out. Joe Madden is going to argue the play. You could see Malinsky saying that's true. You try to push it by the pitcher. Now watch the underhand throw.
Close.
It was very close.
Yeah, it looked like a tie, and you know what that means.
I think he may have beaten the play. I don't know.
Could Fielder have extended himself a little more to help that?
Maybe, but I think that little shovel pass that Benoit made could have been a little faster.
Right.
Could have been a little harder.
Well, there's the Rays dugout reaction. B.J. Upton. Keppinger said safe. We could see it from here. So, in any event, it is an out, and there are 2 down to Carlos Pena. It's 4-1 with the home run by the pinch hitter Keppinger. And there's a fly ball deep to right field. Way back Kelly, and that's gone.
Boy, now that call looks a little bigger than it did before that first pitch to Pena.
Because that would make it a 4-3 game. But Pena, with his 11th home run of the year, and has his 33rd RBI.
I don't think Carlos has hit a ball this hard this year. Not only power, but lift. That ball was so high and far.
Remember, Pena is the Rays' all-time home run leader.
155
That's
now.
correct. Hit 28 with the Cubs last year and led the American League in 09 with 39 home runs. And B.J. Upton at the plate. 2 out, 4-2, the Tigers leading. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Benoit gets touched for 2 home runs here in this 8th inning, and the count 1-1 to Upton, who's 0 for 3. Jim Leyland has seen his 4-run lead cut in half and has to be awfully thankful for Austin Jackson's 3-run homer in the top of this 8th inning.
And the fact that Ramon Santiago was hit by that Peralta pitch, that's looming large right now.
1-2 now to Upton. Baden hop in the Rays pen. Jose Valverde, who hasn't thrown for a while, he'd be ready to come in in the 9th inning. And Upton strikes out, but not before Keppinger with a pinch hit homer, and Carlos Pena with a 2-run try, and it's 4-2 of 2 home runs. 4-2 the score.
Mundo Fox, americano como tú.
Jeff Keppinger, who pinch hit a home run, now will remain in the game at second base, replacing Will Rhymes. And Burke Badenhop took the loss Wednesday in Kansas City for the Rays. 29-year-old right-hander from Northwest Ohio was originally drafted by the Tigers in the 19th round in 2005. Didn't pitch in the majors for the Tigers, but went 34-19 in their system, and his first pitch to Cabrera. First 2 pitches, 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Same hometown as Jim Leland. There's a call, strike 2. 1-2 to Cabrera, who has been on base 4 times tonight. 3 singles and a walk for Cabrera. Badenhop, the 6th pitcher of the night for Joe Madden. Lays off the breaking pitch away, 2-2.
Thing about Cabrera, you rarely see a 1 or a 2 pitch out. He's one of the best 2-strike hitters in the game, along with everything else.
Now hitting .315. Started the game at .309, but 3 for 3 on the contest, and the count now full to Cabrera. Came into the game 9th in the American League in hitting. And there's Prince Fielder waiting to hit. Heart of the order for the Tigers here in the 9th inning. They had a 4-0 lead. Now it's 4-2. And ball 4, and Cabrera draws a leadoff walk with Prince Fielder coming up. This MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. And it's our proud to have the Boys and Girls Clubs of America representing
they do
us.
such a wonderful job. And what a ball game we have here, huh?
No scoring for a while, 1-0, close pitchers duel, and all of a sudden, no extra base hits. Bosch with a double, then the long ball. Jackson, and 2 for the Rays.
And 2 for the Rays. Same inning, 8th inning.
Fireworks late. That pitch fouled off. So getting ready for Earth, Wind, and Fire. We're getting some explosive stuff going on in the 8th inning of this game.
The thing about Fielder and Cabrera is you can't get them out in the middle of the plate with fastballs. 2-0, 3-1, 3-0, 1-0, hitters counts. They turn pitchers counts into hitters counts, both of them. That's why they are so difficult to keep the ball off the fat part of the bat.
And that's why people were saying, hey, if the Tigers won last year in the AL Central, now they have Prince Fielder.
That's
the one thing they lacked was that bat to help Cabrera.
And we still have Verlander and everything. And I think Justin said it very well. He said, when we pitch, we don't hit. When we hit, we don't pitch. But again, that 1 step forward, 1 step back. They just can't get out of that rut.
And nobody is more patient than Jim Leland as far as knowing that it's a long season, doesn't put any pressure on, and doesn't say, look, we haven't been able to do it. He knows that he's within range in that division. No one's going to run and hide.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing Leland has, the same thing Joe Madden has. They have understanding.
Fielder stays alive, and the count remains 1-2. In fact, it was interesting what Joe Madden had to say about his team's porous defense, which was unusual for them. He says, you know, you can't put pressure on them because it'll get worse.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just work
Makes
on
so
some
much
things.
sense, of course.
Two and two now to Fielder with Delman Young on deck. There's Young. Tigers 6 times since they were 18-18 on the year back early in May have gotten to within 1 game of the 500 mark. And they haven't been able to finish the deal to get to 500. Not that that's a crowning jewel here, but something you want to get to before you go on from there. It's just eluded them.
Yeah, and Dick, I mean, that's after a predictable start. I mean, everybody in baseball thought the Tigers would win their division by the largest margin. I think some people still think that, but the way they played has given a lot of people doubt. I mean, they won their first 9 out of 12 games. Swept the Red Sox, opening series of the season. We had that game on Saturday in Game 2. Verlander was unbelievable in Game 1. And you know, they started out predictably, and everybody's saying, oh, yeah, this will be – well, not so fast, says Cleveland. And
White Sox?
White Sox as much of a surprise as any team.
Well, I mean, I saw them last week, and Robin Ventura's done a –
darn right
talk
he has.
about a steady job, a guy who's seen it all.
Oh, yeah.
As a player.
Yep.
3-2 the count. Cabrera was running on the last pitch, takes off again, and Fielder fouls it off. So Fielder with a long at-bat here against Badenhop.
There are 2 first-year managers that are both getting unusual acclaim early in their careers. That's Mike Matheny with the Cardinals and Robin Ventura with the White Sox. Highly unusual. I mean, most times managers have to earn that. These guys earned it as players.
And no managerial experience previously.
That's right. That's right. Both doing fine jobs.
10th pitch of the at-bat, and it's ball 4. So Prince Fielder with a terrific at-bat. And runners at first and second with nobody out here in the 9th. And here is tonight's Burger King smooth play of the game. How smooth was this? Austin Jackson with a 3-run homer. And if the Tigers needed that, it was 1-0 at the time. This made it 4-0 before the Rays hit 2 home runs in the last of the 8th. So Austin Jackson with his home run is tonight's Burger King smooth play of the game. Conference at the mound, Jim Hickey going out and talking to Badenhop with Delman Young 0 for 4 coming up. So the Rays getting 2 home runs in the bottom of the 8th. By the way, Benoit had allowed only 1 home run all year before Keppinger and Pena went deep. So here's Young. 2 on, nobody out in the Tiger 9th, leading. Conference at the mound, Jim Hickey going out and talking to Badenhop with Delman Young 0 for 4 coming up. So the Rays getting 2 home runs in the bottom of the 8th. By the way, Benoit had allowed only 1 home run all year before Keppinger and Pena went deep. So here's Young. 2 on, nobody out in the Tiger 9th, leading 4-2. Valverde in the bullpen.
Talked about it earlier, Dick. This is why that 5th and 6th hitter of the Detroit Tigers are so important, because these guys are going to be on base all year. They've been on base 7 times tonight. 5 for Cabrera, twice for Fielder, and he drove in the first run of the ball game.
And Young has left 7 men on base himself.
This is a very, I think if the Tigers are considering, obviously they're thinking about postseason, and if they do, they're going to have to get somebody hot in that 5 and 6 hole. Somebody to drive in, because guarantee you, whether it's a postseason or not, they're not going to pitch to Cabrera like last year. Ron Washington didn't.
No, he didn't. So they knew they needed that bat. They needed another one even after that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now, Brennan Bosch, you know, if he were swinging the bat right, could be a candidate.
Right.
Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Delman Young. Cabrera and Fielder both drawing walks. Time is called. So runners at first and second, nobody out. Cabrera's been on base 5 times tonight. 3 singles and 2 walks. He's on at second. Fielder with the lead at first. And there's a ball hit into center field, a base hit for Young. And they're going to hold Cabrera at third. He had to hold on to see whether Keppinger had a shot at that ball. So Young ends the drought finally, a single. And the bases are loaded, nobody out. Cabrera at third, Fielder at second. Now Young.
Cabrera, because he's the runner on at second base, knew that Keppinger was close. So that's why he had to hold, even taking a step back toward the bag. And no way for him to score, because you got to watch for the line drive, and his instincts, like they usually are, were correct.
Well put. And here's Alex Avila, who is 0 for 3 with a base on balls. There's Cabrera at third, Fielder with the lead at second, and Delman Young at first. 10 hits for the Tigers tonight. Infield is playing in for a play at the plate, and the first pitch breaks inside, 1-0 to Avila. So the Rays trying to cut off any further damage. No activity in the Tampa Bay bullpen, so it's all Badenhop here. On deck is Don Kelly, who went in to play for right field for Bosch, and now Badenhop falls behind 2-0 to Avila. So Kelly waiting to hit. So the Tigers thought they had opened the game with Jackson's 3-run homer last inning, only to see the Rays get 2. Here's a chopper to first base. Going home is Pena for 1. The throw in the dirt. Double play!
What a play!
What a play! A run's going to score, but Pena, and you mentioned the Gold Glove, digging it out. That wasn't a short hop. That was in the dirt. Tough play. So they have a 3-2-3 double play, but another run comes in to make it 5-2. No, he was out at home. Excuse me. Force at home. Pardon me. So runners at second and third.
That play at first base was absolutely sensational. Not only Pena, who gives a good throw to his catcher, the throw in the dirt, and Pena not only makes the pick, remember he's got to worry about Avila bearing down on him. So he's got a base runner and a ball to catch, and he gets both of them.
So runners at second and third now, and here's Kelly batting 186 with a homer and 7 runs batted in.
Boy, I mean, what a play that was by Pena. Man.
Strike 1 to Kelly.
There are a few better than him, and there are a lot of good fielding first basemen in the major leagues, but the position's designed for a left-handed thrower, and I'm telling you, you're not going to see any better pick than that.
That was a bang play.
Yeah.
So it came in a hurry.
Right.
Going home for 1, and the quick throw to first to dig that in. That ball goes by him.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you got 2 runs in.
Yeah,
so.
right. And 1 out, not 2.
1-1 with 2 out. Young at second, Fielder at third. And the count 2-1 now to Kelly. Three and 1, first base open. And Johnny Peralta on deck for Detroit. There's Peralta, who has a hit tonight. There's a strike. Full count now to Don Kelly, who since the start of last season has played every spot, even catcher, and yes, even pitcher except shortstop. 4th year and a terrific utility man for Jim Leland. Runners at second and third. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and Kelly walks, and the bases are loaded.
Since this play by Pena was a thing of beauty, we'll go through one more time. The throw home, not that, but now he's got to backpedal to the bag, keep his eyes on the runner, keep his eyes on the ball. Think about all the things he's got to do. That is not a play to get back to the bag as lithely as he did. That is just an unbelievable 3-2-3 double play.
And
you
as
won't
you
see
see
it turn any better than that.
That last replay, you realize how hard that throw came from Avila
yeah,
to him.
It had to. It had
to
to.
get a shot at it.
Yeah.
Here's Peralta. 1 for 4, has struck out his last 2 times to the plate. Badenhop has thrown 30 pitches now. Here in this 9th inning, he is the 6th pitcher for Joe Madden. And strike 2 now to Peralta. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning for the Rays. It'll be Luke Scott, Ben Zobrist, and Brooks Conrad, the scheduled hitters. So the Rays defense keeping it a 4-2 game here. And 1-2 now to Peralta. And Valverde, who has been doing more standing than throwing in the last 10 minutes or so for the Tigers in their bullpen, would be coming in with a save opportunity if it remains status quo. Bases loaded, and it won't. Base hit to right field by Peralta. 2 runs are going to score. The throw to second. Peralta gets in a rundown. Here comes the other runner from third. And getting back is Kelly, and Kelly gets back to third base. He's safe. So they had Peralta in a rundown, but then Kelly went. Good base running by Kelly.
Excellent.
Terrific base running. And he got back to third safely.
Good base running by Peralta, too.
Yes.
The overthrow, and then he stopped at second before he got there. Kelly saw that, took off for home. So Delman Young scores easily, as does Fielder.
So there's
throw to second there, and caught in a rundown is Kelly. I beg your pardon. Kelly's at third, and now slides to the outside part of the bag and beats the play. Good base running by Peralta and Kelly.
Peralta gets 2 RBIs with his base hits, so he's 2 hits today and 24 RBIs on the year. It's 6-2 now.
You know, Dick, we talked earlier about the unearned runs that the Rays give up this year and have given up. Neither one of those runs were unearned, but they should have been. Or at least the Rays should be out of the inning. I'll correct myself. Maybe the run should be earned, but the Rays should be out of the inning. You just give a team like Detroit an extra chance here.
So it's second and third. Santiago, 1 for 3, was hit by a pitch the last time up, trying to go the other way with it, and it's out of play, and it's 2-1. So the Tigers lead it now 6-2, and it would not be a save opportunity for Valverde.
I don't think it would be pushing things either to say the biggest at bat in this game was the hit batsman when Santiago was hit before the home run by Jackson.
The batter who's up right now.
Yeah, right.
And the pitch is inside, and it's now 3 balls and a strike. And you're absolutely right, because Bosch was on at second, and this, instead of facing the number 9 hitter and getting out of the inning and not having to face the top of the order.
Still 1-0 then.
Still 1-0. You hit him, and then Jackson, and you know, the Rays then come back with a couple of home runs.
Yep.
And there's a grounder hit to Conrad, and this will do it, but not before the Tigers strike again. Get 2 runs, 5 of their 6 runs in the last 2 innings. The Rays come up in the bottom of the 9th, their last chance, trailing by 4.
Creating a business website is easy. Whether you're a lawyer, a photographer, or a beauty salon, choose from over 200 types of business. Select your company name, color scheme, and design. Done. Customers will find you everywhere. Changes? Anytime. Revise content, layout, and upload your own pictures. 1-in-1 My Website. Try it now for free. 1-in-1.com.
Celebrate the 4th of July in style with Lowe's. Get $5 off Valspar paint and primer in 1. And with the temperature on the rise, there's no better time to take 10% off major appliances. And 20% off in-stock Hunter ceiling fans. Plus, save an additional 5% off everything, every day. So you'll have more than just fireworks to ooh and ah about. Lowe's, never stop improving.
There are some baseball moments you just never forget.
We have a big 3-2 pitch coming here. Swings and a fly ball to deep right field. It's gonna be a home run.
And by building the next generation of memories, Chevrolet is proud to continue to support the famous moments still to come. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to enter for a chance for your community to win a field makeover.
Soy mexicano, americano.
Cubana americana.
Colombiano americano.
Boricua americana.
Dominicana americana.
Mexicano americano. Cubano americano.
Peruano americano.
Dominicano americano.
Colombiana y americana.
Mexicano americano.
Americana como tú.
Americano como tú.
Americano como tú.
This summer, say hola to the new Spanish language broadcast network for you. Mundo Fox, Americano como tú.
And it is not a save opportunity for Jose Valverde, the 34-year-old right-hander who picked up his 14th save Thursday with a 1-2-3 ninth inning against the Rays. Third year with the Tigers, led the majors with 49 saves last year.
No blown opportunities, right? Last year.
Couldn't do any better than that.
Blew his first one this year.
Yeah, doesn't it happen like that?
Yeah.
Don't think things will continue as they were.
No, that's right. In their business or ours.
That's true. Luke Scott, the DH, will lead off against Valverde. Scott is 0 for 3 in the game. Joaquin Benoit giving up home runs to Jeff Keppinger, who pinch hit last inning, and then to Carlos Pena. Made it 4-2, and then the Tigers coming back with 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning. So here's Scott. Strike 1. Rays had lost 4 in a row and 7 of their last 9 before their victory last night. 4-game series, and the Tigers looking to take a 2-1 lead in the series and make it 4-2 overall in the season over Tampa Bay. Out of play, 0-2. The Yankees won, defeated the White Sox 4-2. So the Rays could fall to 6.5 games behind the lead. Although they wouldn't lose any ground to the Orioles, who were beaten by the Indians. One and 2 now to Scott. Rays had one of those player-only meetings last night before the game. Carlos Pena, B.J. Upton, just to say basically we're better than this, nothing dramatic. And they won the game, and Joe Madden said, well, this is the way we're supposed to play. But thanks to Rick Porcello, a different story to this point. And Scott strikes out. One gone here in the ninth inning.
Yeah, and then they get Hellickson back tonight, and he gets hurt again. Don't know how long Jeremy will be out. Good news, I guess, for Kyle Farnsworth and Joel Peralta in that they were both in this game. So all three pitchers that were activated from the disabled list today performed in this game.
Here is Ben Zobrist, who is 0 for 3. One out here in the ninth inning. And for Tiger fans, reminder to tune in tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit and Sun Sports for the Rays fans for the final game of the series. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So Sun Sports, Fox, and the Tiger fans can also tune into Fox for their local broadcast in tomorrow's series finale.
That's right.
1-1 to Zobrist. Mario Impemba and Rod Allen for the Tigers. Dwayne Statz and Brian Anderson at the mics for the Rays.
They're good buddies of ours.
Yep. 1 out, 1-1. And a foul ball down the right field line. So Valverde is ahead of Zobrist, 2 strikes. Rick Porcello pitching 7 innings tonight. 7 shutout innings, giving up only 4 hits. Striking out 4 and not walking a batter. And nothing really hard hit against Porcello tonight.
As we said, that one ground ball to left field hit by Desmond Jennings. Really the only ball that was where the fat of the bat met the ball.
There's a shot to right field, and that's going to get through. Off the wall, Kelly chases it. And Ben Zobrist, with his first hit of the game, into second with a double. You know, it's interesting what happens if the Tigers hadn't gotten those 3 runs on Jackson's 3-run homer and 2 more in the ninth inning here.
That's right. The game can change on quirky little things. Like the Rays thought they were out of it. They got the double play, the 3-2-3 double play. And then the base hit by Peralta after Bosch had walked. Or after Kelly had walked, I beg your pardon.
Well, you know, if the Tigers didn't get 2 add-on runs in the top of this inning, the tying run would be at the plate right now.
That's right.
4-2. Conrad 0 for 3.
Change. I mean, this game's gone along with this 1-0 score, 1-0, and then boom, boom, boom.
You get lulled.
7th and 8th and top of the 9th.
Hideki Matsui is on deck. And he will bat for Lobaton, and the first pitch taken for a ball, 1-0 to Conrad. There's Matsui, whose role changing somewhat with the return of Scott as the DH. 1 out, Zobrist is at second. 6-2, the Tigers lead, bottom of the ninth. Up high, did not go around, says third base umpire Bob Davidson. So it's 2-0. But you're right about the tempo of this game. You know, 1-0 pitcher's duel, 1 run on an infield out by Fielder, which knocked Hellickson out of the game, and then all of a sudden a barrage of 3 home runs in the 8th inning. And then the Tigers adding on a couple of more. 6-2. They've out-hit the Rays 11-7. Popped in the air to shallow center field. And coming on and making the catch was Jackson. Peralta went into shallow center field, but Jackson makes the catch. There are 2 out. And now the Rays are down to their last out, and Hideki Matsui will come up and pinch hit for Lobaton. So Rick Porcello, 7 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, and just what the doctor ordered for Jim Leland for his pitchers.
Pitching. That's a key point. Wasn't throwing. Porcello was not throwing tonight. He was pitching. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Change up, breaking ball occasionally. Fastballs in and out. Just masterly tonight.
So here's Matsui, who was called up on May the 29th. Homered 2 of his first 3 games and then has not gone deep in 20 games since. Zobrist remains at second with 2 out. And there's a fly ball to right field. Kelly coming on over, and he makes the catch to retire the pinch hitter Matsui, and the game is over, and the Tigers have defeated the Rays 6-2. Porcello goes to 6-5. Hellickson, the loser, 4-4. X-rays were negative, and that's good news for him, as Jackson, Keppinger, and Pena homered. And we'll wrap things up from St. Petersburg right after these messages from your local Fox station.
I'm a Major League Baseball All-Star. I worked hard for my team, for my league. In my hand.
Donate to Boys and Girls Clubs today. GreatFutures.org/Fox Sports.
Well, the Tigers are now 4 games behind the White Sox. The Indians now 2.5. Both gain a game, and the Rays fall to 6.5 behind the Yankees in their division. Well, next Saturday is the last week of primetime baseball. Baseball night in America. Big game of the week. Yankees and Red Sox. In other regional action, it all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your late local news followed by episodes of The Finder and 30 Seconds to Fame. So for Tim McCarver and our entire crew, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from St. Petersburg, Florida. You've been watching Fox Sports, exclusive home to the